Alrighty, hello and good morning, Mr. Cow over there. Good morning, all you folks. So, yeah, let's go ahead and continue on this run. I was actually considering doing something a little bit different today and following it up with following this up with a One Vision run. By the way, I hope. Are all those kids' toys coming in? There's like a bunch of random kids' toys going off in the background here. But anyway. Any darn way. So, yeah, I was considering following this up with a One Vision run, like I said I was going to last time, but what I decided is I'm actually going to do it a slight bit different. Effectively, what I'm going to do is do, like, essentially finish up Chapter 2 on this one, and I'm going to give the vanilla run, like, basically like a one-part lead, give or take, like one section of the game, so in this case, one chapter. Now, I went ahead and actually remembered to read the news this time. Okay, so that was a little bit sudden. I had a little bit of instant drama over on this end. Anyway, so as I was getting at, so the plan is to kind of do so yeah, I'm gonna have the vanilla run kind of be one chapter ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and have the One Vision run behind it, and then yeah, we can do the whole comparing, contrasting, all that kind of situation. Just because yeah, I said I would do that ages ago and never quite got around to it. Anyhow. As far as what we're looking at party-wise, yeah, the core team is more or less assembled here. By the way, Mr. Vale, just so you know, yes, once I pick up a griffin, this one can be potentially transformed into a griffin, technically speaking. I still have the code lying around for it somewhere. I don't know necessarily if that's something that I want to do, because it might mess up some stuff, but either way, that was kind of the original idea behind that reference there. So yes, don't worry, you got a named character, that's why they're there. Just they happen to be a female character, so I needed a name to match. Anyway, so, what was I getting at here? So, crafting became unlocked last time. Basically had to end it a little bit early on account of technical jank. But I went ahead and, yeah, did remember to read the news. So if you go down to the tiding, or rather the talk, right into Chapter 2, you get the fact that Ravenous got herself captured. And yeah, you gotta save her twice in order for her to actually join your team with her kind of ridiculous RT bonus. So let's go back to Balmoza. Let's go ahead and pick up some crafting books since those just got unlocked. I won't be doing a whole lot of crafting in this run, but for right now, there are a couple things that I want to get made. So, kind of cheaper crafting book prices in this particular version. It's kind of nice. There we go. Let's get that. Actually, I think they might be the same price. I'm probably just completely misremembering things. As per usual, you know, it's just kind of what I do best. Now, I'm in the buy menu, aren't I? Yeah, I want to be in the sell menu. That would be a little bit more useful. So I'm going to keep the silvers... I'm going to keep like 3 of them. This is mostly just in case I have to go back in time later, and, well, you basically can't if you have dead units. So those allow you to more or less fix that problem. So let's go ahead and pick some of these up, go get all the ores we'll ever... well, not that we'll ever need, that we'll need for the time being. And then pick up some sticks as well. A little bit of tannin, a little bit of water. The usual kind of stuff you expect to start with. Probably a few of these just to kind of have them. You don't typically need most of this stuff for most of the game, and well, most of them you end up just kind of finding lying around. But I typically buy a handful of each just to kind of have them, so I don't have to go back to the store menu later. Okay, so let's go to the crafting. Now, as far as range weapons go, yeah, you get +1s of all your weapons. +1 longbows are what I want for the time being. So if I go ahead and get 3 longbows, probably want to get more than that. Actually, let's get as many as we can carry. Actually, let's see, that's 3. Let's go sell some other equipment. I know that we're going to need some other stuff as well. Probably going to want +1 spears after a little while. But as long as we have bows for everybody, that's really all we need. I'm getting a little bit of lag jank again. I really was hoping that maybe we sorted that problem out, but yeah, let's try this. Yeah, you know what? That seems to have sorted it out. I think I know what's been going on with my stuff here. So we're gonna... this is the first introduction to the utter annoyingness that is the crafting system in this game, and one of the reasons that I specifically made sure not to go with a route that requires a lot of crafting. So, first off, we need 1 more hemp. Unfortunately, I didn't pick up enough of those. Next up, we'll go over here. And here's the fun part. So, you got your crafting thing, and okay, we need Bernie, and we need iron. This is about as easy as it gets. So, Bernie is over here. You just make a bunch of them. I'm going to speed this up, because you have to go through the stupid animation every single time that you need to craft something. Fun times! Such entertainment. Many greatness, etc. So, you know, the usual kind of stuff you'd expect. So there we go. Go ahead and get all these logs in here. So, interestingly enough, you may be wondering what's the deal with Teneri there, because it's actually the lowest tier. You have the option to make like Chapter 1 equipment and upgrade it. It's a little bit unclear to me as to why anybody would ever bother, to be totally honest, because yeah, it doesn't really make sense to do so. If you aren't aware of how this all goes, you only get crafting 1 battle into Chapter 2, and yeah, there's unless you pick up a crafting book earlier, there's no real way to unlock it. So there's really no way to actually get any kind of Chapter 1 equipment, you know, worth crafting. The only possible use for it is if you go back and, you know, like let's say you're leveling a bunch of characters past level 1. There's really no reason you even need the +1 gear, because it's barely, like, even slightly better than the other ones. So it's just really not worth it for the most part. Anyway, there will be actually a few things that I'll be making, though. Specifically, the Aspis +1 is probably one of the better shields for a good long while. In fact, I use these straight into endgame, and then for the helmets, the Bronze +1 is a pretty solid choice for a good while as well. This resists stun, which you tend to see a crapload of, and it gives sleep proof, which, you know, one of these things is clearly more valuable than the other. It's like, this makes you completely immune to a certain status effect. What does this one do? Makes you resist it a little bit better. Cool. But anyway, no, the bronze helmets are a pretty solid defensive item. Again, up until you start getting some decent stuff later on. Hello there, Mr. Panman. How's your morning going? It's my, technically top bit given guy and friend over here. Since we got to do the we got to give titles, you know. Too early? There's no such thing as too early. There's no such thing as sleep. What is sleep? There is no sleep. There's only babies. Alright, so yeah, longbows for everybody. As you can see, not exactly the most well thought through crafting system, and believe it or not, yeah, the Japanese version, give or take 15% lower crafting rates. So, 65% chance to actually make one of these. It's freaking amazing. WoW, technically. True, true, true. It's a matter of technicality. Okay. Now then, Peoples with bows. That would be Canopus. So we go ahead and put away the Balder bow for the time being. Give him this longbow. The Balder bow will come into play a little bit because the Balder +1 is at that point it's just off to the races. So we'll give him that at that point. And yeah, he's really the only one that we need to upgrade for the time being. We'll give everybody better bows later. It's weird because yeah, the longbow +1 does last a surprisingly long time. So the next thing we want is at least 6 Aspices. I'm probably not going to use this many, but yeah. So 3 draughts, 6 bronze, 6 iron. Okay, so let's go ahead and buy them draughts. Probably want to go ahead and get like 10 of them suckers. There we go. Or not. I guess I'll get 5. You know, that's a good number too. That's what I wanted in the first place. It's fine. Totally was saying that the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, bronze, we need 2 copper, 1 tin, so we're gonna need 12 copper, 6 tin. You can see already why this gets a little bit annoying at times. But yeah, again, that's why there won't be a whole lot of it in this run. And that's why I'm gonna do it all in fast forward, because nobody wants to sit through that animation. Actually, one of the things I hope ends up being found for the One Vision mod that'll probably escalate it to freaking god tier status is the ability to turn off this stupid animation. Why is it here? Why can't it just roll in the background and just tell me what it actually is? Like, I assume, given how fast the game runs, I'm assuming at some point they found out that there was some exploit that allowed you to completely, you know, bypass the check for making something. At which point, again, why not just make it 100% for everything? But whatever. There's a lot of design aspects to this game that are like that. So once again, we need we need 18 iron ore. So there we go. Big excitements, you know, big fun. All that good stuff. But anyway, so what are you up to today, Pan? Doing any more fun stuff? New runs, new goodies? Also, apparently running into a little bit of a lag spike for some reason. Oh, and I actually think I may have figured out the cause of all that technical jank. Work is fun. Depends on the work, I suppose. Work is occasionally and often not fun. Well, then again, sometimes it is fun. What do you do when it's both? Because I have had cases where it was both fun and not fun. Like, back when I used to do data entry type stuff. Truth be told, I like that. I like that job way more than I probably should have. Because I would just go and, you know, just basically fill out forms into the odd hours of the evening, just get some music going. Pretty much chug down those diet Rockstar drinks that taste basically like motor oil. But honestly, that was kind of the reason I drank them. Like, it wasn't really a diet thing. I just kind of accepted relative chubbiness at that point. But the fact that they tasted so awful immediately woke you up, so that's nice. Your work is never fun, and then Fire Emblem. Okay, fair enough. Well, hopefully one day, you know, one will consume the other, and then for some reason you'll just get, like, paid to sit around playing Fire Emblem. One can dream! One can dream. Anyway, so to give you an idea of what goes on here, Peltas give you a bit of a resistance bonus to your stun, whereas the Aspis gives you a sleep proof and a bonus to deflect, which deflect is pretty darn amazing in vanilla. So I'm going to make one Pelta, just for the hell of it, just kind of have it around, because I believe it's actually resist stun, not stun proof. But yeah, so I will be pointing these shields out later, as they kind of had a bit of a moment where, like, in the Palace of the Dead, they had an interesting moment where they both made a pretty clever reference, but then they also really vastly screwed up a reference as well. Namely, so they have a bunch of statues from March of the Black Queen, right? And, oh, we use energy drinks sometimes? Well, it's always good to have that stuff. I've actually had to down it to 1 cup of coffee a day, so for alleged health reasons and whatever. Anyway, back to the point at hand. So, yeah, I was buying an Aspis, right? Buy Aspis. That's really all we're gonna need for the time being. And then let's go ahead and back to crafting. Anyway, so what was I getting at here? I was about to say something. Oh yeah, March of the Black Queen stuff. So they've got a lot of the sprites that are in the Palace of the Dead, specifically the statues that are based off of March of the Black Queen's sprites, specifically the limited edition version, for some odd reason. But here's the weird part: they added shields to all of them. The even weirder part, that is the only time that the Petrification Gaze move is 100% guaranteed to fail. meaning that for some reason they felt the need to add shields to those things to give them an immunity to the thing that eventually got them. I don't know why. it's it's a little bit weird, but it's there, I guess. So, you know. Anyways, that's 6 Aspices and 1 Pelta. That'll be good. Probably want to pick up a couple Bucklers as well. Bucklers are pretty handy for a while. Circlets are pretty handy for a while, and that's really... I mean, I guess the Magus Robe. We could go make a couple of them, because they're pretty cheap to make. I can make at least 4, just need to buy 4 pin cords and 3 robes. So I'm probably going to only need a couple of those robes. It's fine. Actually, yeah, let's just make a couple. Let's go to the pin cord. Don't know what they need. It's under textiles. What a good system with no problems whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about. Smithing armor. Okay, there we go. A couple of these. These give you an early meditate bonus. Okay, and then we need a little bit more, so let's go buy a bit more thread to go buy more, to go make more textiles, to go make more stuff, as you do. Typical everyday things that you would expect to be doing, rather than actually strategizing in your strategy game. No. Anyway, so yeah, energy drinks, good stuff. Coffee, also good stuff. I like coffee. Coffee's good. Coffee makes for a happy potato. Smith and armor. There we go. Another max robe. And there we go. So we'll have a couple casters later on. I know right now I'm stacking everybody towards particular classes. Again, that's just for free stats for the time being. It's just the best way to do it earlier on. Longbows will carry us for a while. There's a couple other things I want out of here as well. The Zwei is pretty good, but I don't really have anyone running two-handers right now. It's weird because the Zwei is kind of the epitome of when these particular weapons are at least decent. Later on, they just start sucking like crazy. Also, Viking Sword, once again, the exact opposite of what an actual Viking Sword was. Like, in every possible way, it's kind of amazing. Next up, I find this a little bit hilarious because the Mage Staff, like, you know what its actual purpose is? Technically speaking, this is one of the most expensive items to craft because unicorn horns and enchanted feathers are a pain in the neck to get a hold of. Especially the unicorn horns. There's no possible way that you can even get them in Chapter 1 or Chapter 2, where you pretty much need to be in Chapter 3 or 4 to reasonably get a good drop rate of them. And by good drop rate, I mean that they even show up every once in a while. Even around level 30, they will still be a pretty rare drop. But, here's the thing. This is technically the lightest staff that you can get with a pretty decent intelligence bonus. So you're basically getting, like, +3 RT from actually using that thing. It's kind of a sad thing to have to go through so much effort for that. Optionally, just use Ravenous or something. Go ahead and save yourself all that effort. Alright, get rid of these short bows, and the last thing that I want to go ahead and craft are all those helmets. So, let's see, armor-wise, yeah, that's going to be fine. I want everybody using these particular things. Once again with the copper and tin, and this will be the last thing that I'm going and crafting, I promise. So its purpose is, it's just lighter weight. It's just basically, it's a one-handed staff that's lighter weight. That's the only reason you'd go through all that effort for it. It's not worth it at all, to be totally honest. Just because you're getting way better bonuses off of later game staffs. I'm assuming it was a reference to something, in terms of why exactly they would like attach such a high cost to it. But yeah, you don't really get any stat bonuses off it, or you don't get any skill bonuses, you don't get any of that, so... Bit of a downer. Definitely not one of the better things to invest your resources on, especially considering that those two items are used to craft endgame bows and spears. Actually, a lot of endgame items, now that I think about it. Like Colcrium, for example, uses the Unicorn Horn. I believe the Indra Bow uses the, the other thing, the Feather. I know the Tempest Bow uses the Feather. Like, there's really just so many better options that it's not even funny. And then the last thing we need is some Xenowine. So let's go ahead and sell some of this crap. Actually, not that crap. Let's sell a couple of these. I don't expect anyone to die for a good long while, so hopefully we'll get more silvers at that point. And we're going to need a crap load of these, so there we go, 8 of them. And now we can go craft. Go make armor. Dun, 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 dun. I forgot to make the bronze, and I forgot to make the iron, and I forgot everything because I'm dumb like that. Okay, we made 12 of these, so we're going to need 3 times 6, we're going to need 18. So there we go. Now, what I was saying about the Zwei earlier, and why it's one of the few times where two-handers actually shine in the game, it's kind of weird because they all have like little bubbles where they come and go. Like early on, two-hander is pretty disappointing. Mid-game, like running around with a Zwei, you get a bit of a bonus with actually you're getting a damage bonus off that thing. Plus, you get, I believe that's the one that does breach. Actually, no, that's what's it? The one right after it that does breach. You get this little moment where you get a couple two-handers that will do chariot effects on hit. So yeah, those ones are okay, but other than that, they're kind of disappointing. Like, you get a Desert Blade later, that thing's alright. I guess it's kind of cool and everything, but still, it's just, a lot of the other ones are a little bit better. It was unusual for them to decide to make two-handers kind of the lightweight but slightly stronger weapon over a one-hander in this one. Realistically semi-accurate, but it also doesn't exactly convey their role super well. So there's that. Now, we got a crap load of bronze there. We're probably never going to need bronze again. Yeah. Needs more two-handers and more axe procs? Exactly. Need two-handers that can just instantly vaporize everything. But yeah, axes in this one, kind of a bummer. I'm assuming that's why they were one of the reasons that they're so decent when it comes to One Vision there. Because it's funny, so in regards to One Vision, there's one thing I've seen come up over and over, which is with regard to the axes, everyone seems to either have the opinion that they're like worthless compared to heavy two-handers and hammers, just because they're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum, as it were. But at the same time, I've seen lots of people claim that they're the most OP weapon in the game. And honestly, I don't know where either one is getting that from, but either way. So there we go. Bronze Helm's one of the better lightweight defensive items for a good long while. Gives you a resist stun bonus, pretty handy to have. So we're going to go ahead and pop that sucker on there. And there we go. We got all of them equipped. As far as the crossbow users, we're going to go ahead and, let's see. Yeah, stun proof. So you get stun proof off the Pelta. Like, the shields will give you the proof abilities, these will give you the other abilities. Yeah, parry if you want that. Honestly, I think these are the two shields that should carry you through most of the game. Since they already have a stun resist thing, and I want them to continue using it, I'm going to go ahead and give them sleep proof. And we'll do that. And actually, you know what? I should do basic crossbow upgrades as well. Funnily enough, the basic crossbows, despite the fact that they kind of suck overall, they're okay as a training weapon because they give you a stun bonus. For some reason. Like, there's no reason that you'll use them for anything other than stun. I think they meant to have it as kind of like a sort of passive weapon type situation. It's Teneri and 2 crossbows. Alright, let's buy a couple crossbows. I know I said I was done with crafting. We're almost done. It's just a little bit more. Alright. Timber. Give me a couple Teneries. Hello there, Mr. Oh, wait. I already said hello to Mr. Sadabo. By the way, planning to do the your mod later today. I was actually kind of tossing up whether to do it right now, and wound up not doing it right now. For reasons. Okay, we need one more bronze ingot. Give me my bronze. The bronze, the bronze. It is nice and bronze. That amazing crafting menu amazingness. Such a tantalizing gameplay. This is exactly what I want for my strategy game. Alright. Do the sucker. Really, the only reason I'm doing this is, yeah, they'll get a stun effect on their crossbows. It's bizarre that it's even in there, but it's there. Yay! Or wait, no, it's the other one. Ah, screw it, it's the stone bow that has the stun effect. Whatever. It's been a minute. It's not the right one. It'll do. It'll do. Doesn't matter anyway. Moving on. So we got the usual team, got everybody all stacked up here. They can go ahead and do all their stuff. I'm actually going to go ahead and take these guys off here because I don't want them getting experience just yet. So yeah, there we go. And then Canopus will run up and snipe, because that's what he does best. So he was up last night working, so later today is fine for me to watch. Speaking of, I still have that one guess to figure out what you do, Mr. Setterbo. And one of these days I will puzzle that out. Alright, so let's go ahead and set Canopus back to manual. And overall my goal right now is to get just get all these fencers leveled up. Then I'll give everybody a boon of swiftness. That'll allow them to boost up Canopus even farther. But yeah, just fencers are pretty stupidly OP as far as the abilities that they can use, and especially the fact that they can use them for free. So that's it's nice. All right, let's get this. Everybody else just charge willy-nilly. I don't even care. They could all get knocked out right now, and we'll still probably win the fight before anything actually happens. So there's that. See, not having a set schedule hurts growth. Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. Unless you're in a kind of like a sales career. Alright, I'll leave it back to running normal for a little while. Just let it catch up a little bit, because sometimes the game doesn't really like being sped up. Her, I might want to take out just for that potential stun gun drop, but I'm just gonna leave it. These guys will do a pretty okay job for the time being. Not to mention, again, functionally speaking, all of these fencers are pretty much invincible right now. Let's see. This will slaughter my growth for a long time. Too fickle and can't stream when I want to sometimes. Well, yeah. Honestly, I didn't even intend this this whole particular thing to be as kind of consistent as it's been lately. Because typically speaking, my schedule is utterly random. Obviously, it's based entirely on like how the kids are doing, what I need to get done that day, all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, yeah, when it comes to my odd jobs and stuff like that, basically I'm a freelancer more or less. So it's just whatever I can get somebody to pay me for. So yeah, sometimes the schedule does not line up for anything else, so this has been a weird week where just a bunch of stuff has been absolutely janky. I mean, there's been a lot of cases where, like, the internet has just simply not been functioning properly, as I'm pretty sure many people have noticed. I'm actually wondering if it's at all related to that big announcement that was supposed to be happening yesterday, because I couldn't help but notice that as soon as it was announced, suddenly there were a bunch of bizarre, a bunch of websites going down all of a sudden, a bunch of weird internet issues, and it's like, I don't get why everything's all busted up all of a sudden. Like, today it seems fine. I haven't really seen any issues going on, so I don't know. Had me a little bit worried. Like, I really hope we didn't suddenly become a friggin' regime. It's like I'd really rather not see that happening if we could. So, who knows? So everyone having an okay morning? Doing generally okay? At least semi-decent? By the way, how's the layout this time? Is it a bit easier to read? A bit easier to see now? Hopefully it looks a little bit prettier. By the way, that beer stein right there, it's the only thing that I could find that was close to a coffee cup. As far as I could tell, there weren't any additional downloadable thingies. Otherwise, I would have gone for a coffee cup if I could find one. For that little tip jar thing. Like, I know the odds of people tipping probably isn't super high, but still, it's nice to have it there, you know? Looks really garish. Well, so you need a border around the game. Well, hang on. Let me go give this sucker a square. Hold on. Let's open up Paint real quick. Let's make a square. Where is my square making tool? Okay, let's probably make it kind of like a grayish, I guess. See, light background behind chat is still bad. Well, not if I fix it. It was actually supposed to be switching over to a different... Where is it? By the way, yes, it's being janky because I just pulled up... Okay, hang on. I'm going to do that in a little bit. It started lagging because I pulled up the Streamlabs menu, which apparently tends to make it break in half for some reason. Anyhow. I definitely should have just gone for a tremendous there, but whatever, we'll leave it. And yeah, it turns out that's actually what might have been causing the jank yesterday. Just so you know, incoming stutter while I go and mess with this real quick, because let's see, stream chat. You were supposed to be showing up with black color text, or like blue or something. Where's my thingies? There we go, dashboard. That's the thing I want to use. I figured out my buttons, guys. So mine isn't black and is fine, I think. 100% background. Oh yeah, right, transparency. I completely forgot to set that. That might be a little bit of an idea then, huh? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and do so. And yeah, with these slightly upgraded things, everyone will get a little bit of background weapon training in while we're pretty much just stomping through all these fights. The downside of being pretty overpowered early on is you can wind up kind of screwing yourself in the late game because you don't have the right weapon skills. Typically speaking, you need at least rank 2 in order for chapter 4 to be okay. Ideally, you want rank 4 to actually get through the game. Rank 6 is when stuff gets okay, and then rank 8, usually that character is pretty OP already. But yeah. So probably what I'm going to do later on... not really. There's not really any power training I can do for them as far as weapon skills other than repeatedly doing fights. Alright, there we go. That'll be this match done. She's going to talk about how much she's afraid all of a sudden. Like, oh, I thought I was prepared, but I guess I will just go ahead and reattach my arm and teleport out of here. See if you have a lighter background, the chat is over, it helps to have a dark transparency filter over that area. Yeah, I will do that. Sorry. Still new to this stuff, so make it happen. Alright, now we got the Raisin Way. That's where we go in and go ahead and save everybody's favorite friggin' waifu lady. So there we go. Same team. Let's make it happen. That would be smart. I don't do smart things. What is smart? That would imply some type of brain function. Apparently the dashboard is no longer showing me what I want it to show me. Why is it showing me past broadcast? I want to... show me my menu! Why won't you... Oh, editor. There we go. That's what I want to use. That might do it. Alright, let's see if we can mess with this image a little bit. So first off, unlock that sucker. Yes, I know it's going to be stuttering for a sec. Just bear with me while I mess with this. How do I make transparent? That is not an option that is currently showing. Okay, lock that sucker back in place. Okay, chat box. Let's just mess with you. Let's just give you better text for the time being. While I, exactly, implying that I do smart things. I don't do smart things. That's dumb. Let's see. Theme. Do I want it clean? Do I want it boxed? What is old school? I don't know what old school does, but that sounds like a thing that I like. Font settings. Text color. Let's go ahead and... what would show up on that? Like a blue? Let's see what a... yeah, blue and make it a little bit bigger. Or maybe even a green. You know what? Light green. That, yeah, just straight up baby puke green. That sounds pretty good. I think that's good. How's that? How's that grossness? Oh man, that's hard to read. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna leave it as that for a sec. Absolutely beautiful. So this cutscene in a nutshell, they're like, oh man, why don't we just stab her in the face? Why do we gotta bring her over there? Everyone's super racist because reasons. Let's see. The game bleeding if the game box is triggering me. Well, I mean, that's what makes it look good. Okay. Let's change that a little bit then. As in, let's put the text size back to normal. See, how's that look? Hopefully that looks at least somewhat decent. If I go back to this sucker right here, I can't... Get me my right menus, please. Thank you. God dang menus. Why you gotta be so complicated? Jeez. Yeah, that's gonna silence anyone. And then this guy realizes, hey, maybe we should stop arguing because we're all about to get owned. And yeah, that's when plot happens. And then she's all like, oh man, I guess people want to hire me for my RT bonus. Alright, let's fix that chat box real quick. Bam. Alright, let's see here. Fix the damn names, bleeding into the game box, fine. Can't even read the names now because font letters are so wide. There we go. Let's... yeah, why don't we switch it to a font that doesn't suck? Let me move... yeah, let's move this slightly. Oh man, that beautiful lag too. Just because I have everything just kind of right here. Why do I have everything stacked up? Why does it lag so bad? It's amazing. Is he wounded by this? Okay, let's edit this a little bit. Let's try to make it something that doesn't suck. I apologize. I'm working on it. Hang on. Font settings. Now, what do we want to do here? So theme. Let's go for Twitch. Okay. That looks better. That looks way better. We're gonna leave it at that. That looks pretty. I think. Kind of. A little bit. Slightly. There we go. Slightly less awful. Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. And so, you know, her first, I think it's this option. I hate that there's so many potential ways that you could, like, recruit her wrong. Anyway, we've got a little bit of jank coming in from the rain effect. Oh, come on. Be nice. The funny part is, the only reason that it's having that jank is because technically, this, like, this menu is, this, what's it, Streamlabs menu is still up. So technically speaking, it still counts the entire thing as being up, and for some reason I can't exit out of it. Like, I can hit escape, I can hit enter, it doesn't freaking matter. It, like, it refuses to exit that menu. It's bizarre. Okay, so yeah, if it was less green, it would be nice. But what's wrong with green? It's so beautiful. But no, what color do the folks want to see on there, then? Like, make it blue, make it black. How much less green are we talking about? Tell me. So wait, was this a defeat leader or defeat everybody? Because I'm pretty sure he could actually get a solid snipe on the leader right now. Let's go ahead and finish off this guy instead. 2. There we are. White. But I thought we just were complaining about white. Fine, we'll go make it white. Jeez. How about grayish? Are we okay with grayish? Holliston? I don't know what that... What about bright red? No, you know what? There we go. I fixed it. I fixed it! Enjoy your bright purple. Perfect. It's beautiful. That beautiful purple chat. Terrified? Exactly. Barney has invaded the chat. Yeah. Barney has come for your words. But yeah, no, if you have some different thing, let me know. Also, what I find funny is it has this little chat preview thing that it keeps showing every time that that I go in, like, into the little chat editing thing, and it keeps pretty much mixing in your guys' stuff with some random made-up chat, I guess. So it's weird to see ProCow in there with a bunch of people talking about what looks like LOL or something. But yeah, there we go. It's all royal and everything. It's purple. It's purple. Actually, how bad is this layout looking right now? Let's see if I minimize this and I move this out of the way. God dang. Widget editor, why do you not have a button for me to... Okay, quick thing. So, Pan, quick question for you. As far as this, like, dang OBS thing, right? Why on earth is the button hiding off screen? Like, I can't move the window. I can't technically close out of this particular window. And it, like, the actual, like, OK confirm whatever button is just hiding below my screen. I can't mess with it. That's the weird janky part. Like, I don't know what do about that. See, if you can move game stream to the left a little bit, then everything will become... Okay. I'll move it to the left a little bit. I thought everyone wanted that little border. Actually, wait. Is there a command to just give the little window a border? Hang on. It's pulling up Streamlabs. I have it deintegrated. I don't know how to deintegrate. Okay, there we go. Now, let's go down to game capture. Unlock that sucker and move it just slightly left. What bugs me is that, yeah, it loves to lock to the left side of the screen all of a sudden. There we go. Lock that back in place. Now, can I just give it a border? Not really. What if... let's see if I can add a source here. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit janky for a second, so just give it a moment. Let's see. You know, we'll worry about the border thing later. For now, it'll be okay. You'll live. It'll be fine. Oh, I know how to give it a border. If I edit the thingy a little bit, and that didn't do it at all. That didn't help at all. Window size 2 times. There we go. Whatever. We'll worry about it later. Basically, a time that is not now. Now, where on earth did their leader go? Did we already beat the guy or something? Oh no, he's hiding over there behind that pillar. What a sneaky boy! Let's go ahead and hopefully finish this. Ooh, Slumber Shot. Yeah, Slumber Shot, pretty friggin' OP, because yeah, you get crushing damage. But it does not scale. Does not scale. So, for stuff that's weak against crushing, you can just go and completely wreck it right away, but yeah, if you get damage scaling, it's going to be way the hell better. Alright, and they'll probably go finish him off. We'll see. So you don't know I use normal OBS and hate Steam. Well, why was I recommended to use Streamlabs? Normal OBS was working just fine for me. Wait, who the hell told me to use Streamlabs? Was that just the weird, stupid voice in my head? Whatever. Well, is there a way to do that whole jar thing without using Streamlabs? Like, can I just have a little jar there? I don't know. Apparently the little emotes thing is supposed to tie into this as well, but I've never seen one person use that ever. Because they're supposed to be... I have live emotes turned on, just nobody ever uses it. Or maybe it's not active. I don't know. This is all frickin' magic to me. Dang, techno magic being all weird. See, what I do use is normal OBS and then direct link to Streamlabs, so I'm not bound to that dumpster fire. I'm assuming by dumpster fire you mean that's why it's lagging like a mofo the entire time? That seems like a pretty reasonable assumption. Because, yeah, to even have Streamlabs up causes the entire thing to just explode, so that's always nice. You know what? I'll just go ahead and set this guy to auto, I think. Hold on, I think we've got heals going. Where's Ravenous at? I'm assuming she's going having a field day here. She's at like half health. You know what, screw it. Let's go ahead and set him to auto for a sec. Because in all honesty, he's always just going to go for whatever does the most damage. That's the thing with vanilla. Really, you can just set it to auto for a good portion of the game, and they'll just go do it. I mean, hell, you can set your ranged units to melee, and they'll do better than if they were set to ranged. Because if they're ranged, they will always try to stay out of range, whereas if you set them to melee, they will just run up and try to snipe everything and just do the most damage possible, which is pretty darn useful when your archers are this OP. So yeah. And normally, your spears would not be doing nearly this much damage, but we're like 4 levels higher than everybody, so screw it. Doing okay damage. Nice part is, their weapon skills actually tend to go up pretty darn fast doing it this way. Just because, yeah, they're getting a little bit extra based off the extra damage that they're getting. So if you overlevel, you occasionally will fly up in levels. Let's see, what... Yeah, so I'm gonna have to get some info on how exactly to do that, Mr. Pan. By the way, I also tried to set up those, those panels earlier, but apparently did it wrong. So, yeah, that was a thing. Oh, look at this guy. He's trying. He's just shooting back. He thinks he's doing stuff. Like, on the plus side, we're getting extra items off this. It's honestly going to take about the same amount of time. See, how do I do it? It's not that hard. Yeah, that's what she said, but unfortunately that's just not how it goes. But yeah. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll try to figure it out or whatever. Use this whole brain thing that I hear is pretty nice to have. I mean, I hear it's also useful for cooking noodles and not burning them. Yes, I do accidentally burn frickin' noodles all the time. I always get crap for it, but god dang it, these stupid noodles keep burning. Okay? It's weird, because I can actually make some pretty advanced stuff, but when it comes to noodles, I always set them on fire. On the plus side, that also means that I've gotten really used to eating burned food, which means that I end up getting all the leftovers nobody wants. It's nice. It's pretty darn nice. By the way, Rending Gale, not an OP ability whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about. Totally doesn't scale to an obnoxious degree early on. It's funny, because yeah, Rending Gale completely ruins the early game, and then like once you get into late game and everything, it's just like, it becomes completely worthless next to some of the other skills. Oh well. Oh, we should have killed her when he had the chance. Yeah, she was the one that was the big threat here, not the guy launching rockets out of his bow or anything. What do they want of her? Well, they recognize that she's somebody's self-insert character, so she has to be super special. Truth be told, I really don't like Ravnus. It's like, it bugs me whenever there's a situation like this where it's just like, oh yeah, look at my character. They're so good, they're so special. They're so special, you guys. They're big specials. And yeah, then she just pisses off, because, you know, she's so special that she needs to be saved twice. So, we now go over here, then we have to read her entry, because she's so special, we gotta read about her, you guys. And then we read about it, and like, oh man, look, she's got mixed bloodlines, geez, so big specials, big specials. Let's see, putting noodles in oven mitts so they don't burn well. I mean, that sounds like a plan with no problems whatsoever. I don't see how that could possibly go wrong. Alright. This fight, funnily enough, so this one, like, it's funny that they give you Canopus, they make him a bow user right off the bat, meaning that, yeah, you could, with, once you get Swiftfoot, you can actually just pretty much run into this fight, have him fire one shot, and that's it. There's several fights in the game that way. But yeah, no, he can, like, just clear most of the map with a single shot, usually. In this case, I aimed for the wrong guy. You're supposed to aim for the golem, but whatever. Actually, the bird guy is a pretty good shot for the first one. But yeah, once you get up to that rooftop, you can actually hit her from all the way down there. And it gets even funnier later. Like, so once you get to Sentinel's Rib and things like that, you get, like, I think it's like 11 natural range on that thing. So if you end up getting a bit of an advantage, plus you get the plus or minus 1 or 2 tiles that you get from just kind of naturally going beyond firing range, because I don't know why they couldn't just tell you that's what the range was. I guess they thought it looked prettier this way. But yeah, so that means you could pretty much clear the entire map on almost every single fight. And it, like I was saying, it's especially funny when you have boss fights that they make this whole big deal of, and then you can just repeatedly reset those boss fights. Specifically, there's one in Chapter 4 that takes place in Boulder Sands that you can just run in there. Just like if you have that bow, you can run in with any reasonably high dex character. You can one-shot the boss, and that's it. You get a ridiculously huge dump of XP. It's like one of the higher XP dumps of the entire game. And yeah, you just go and reset that fight over and over and over, and you can get level 50 in like a matter of like an hour. It's kind of dumb. So it's funny because yeah, a good bit of Mr. Foles' run. If you've seen WeGraph Foles' 100% run of this, a surprising amount of time was actually dedicated to just like you take one maxed out character and you just put 6 of another class, and that's it. Like you just fire one shot, and that's it. And you just redo that fight over and over. And yeah, for that run, he had to get level 50 in every single class, every single title, every single item, every single fight, you know, what have you. No one's ever gonna try that again, I guarantee you. Say napping is pretty good. Dang straight, it's pretty darn good. Man. Like this morning, had like an extra 5-minute nap. It's pretty fantastic. Like woke up, noticed it was a little bit early. It's good stuff. Now, let's go ahead and have us an air cell fight. Actually, for this one, I may want to switch them over to other stuff. Because they're already a little bit past where I wanted them to be. I don't want anybody to have the potential to reach 20. So So, I think if we... You know what, let's go, nah, we don't want to do that. Berserkers, maybe? I don't necessarily want to do that either. If I make him a Berserker, and then I make all the lizards Berserkers, and then change them all into... You know what, let's give the lizards a little bit of training. That's what we're going to do here. Lizard time is no! Okay, Berserk, 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 Berserk. Immediately getting that Ogre forces, or whatever, thing stuck in my head. If you've never seen the Berserk movie, just go see the Berserk movie. It's good crap. Alright, I'm gonna leave those two there to train their crossbows, and let's get 2 more. Let's pop you in here, and don't know if we really want the fencers in. Really, actually, you know, we'll give Voltaire 1 extra one because he missed a couple fights early on, so he's probably behind on skill points. And then probably, I think after the saving Aracel bit, we'll probably by the end of the chapter we'll actually go and get more skills. Like right now, I want to pick up a strength and upgrade on Canopus, but that's about it. All right, sweet insta-kill. We can't fight amongst ourselves. That's why we're gonna fight amongst ourselves. Alright. Before I forget, let's go set all these guys to AI. And once again, it is raining forever. By the way, I can make that kind of laggy jankness stop at the cost of a little bit of extra stuff. See? A little bit better. So this will fix some of the jank at the cost of, unfortunately, causing the occasional little jank as far as visuals go. Actually, you know what? They might have even fixed it in this version. I'm not seeing the usual flicker, so that's good. See all the napping cows? Well, they gotta prepare for their big invasion, you know. Gotta prepare. By the way, out of curiosity, did anybody actually catch the friggin' whatever announcement was going on yesterday? Like, I meant to go check, and I, weirdly enough, didn't see any news about it today, which has me a little bit worried, because I know one of the things that was supposedly being announced is that we're possibly becoming a temporary dictatorship, so that would kind of suck. But, yeah, according to one guy that I was talking to, apparently they just sort of, like, showed up, said they had no decision on anything, and left, awkwardly, but, I don't know. I have no idea what actually happened there. Like, did I miss anything? What do you mean, a what? A what? A what are we talking about? That's a secret potato? Well, I mean, I'd rather not have that be a secret, if we're okay with that. It's one of those things that feels like it might be okay information to have. But yeah. Stuff's been weird lately. I hope stuff stops being weird. I really miss ignoring the news all the time. Like, I'm trying. I'm legitimately going out of my way to try and ignore it, but it's like it still creeps up every now and then. I don't want to care. Let me worry about my own stuff. I got enough to worry about. Don't have a TV? Yeah, I mean, we don't technically have cable or anything. We literally only have TVs for the purpose of putting game consoles on there. Like, I'm pretty sure we only keep one of the TVs for the SNES Classic. Yeah, there we go. There's that flicker jank. Yeah, you know what? I think in this version, it's not doing enough to actually be worth it. So we're gonna get rid of that flicker right now. There we go. Get that saved, and now everyone's a berserker. Okay, did she get herself captured again, or is that a Chapter 3 event? I don't remember. Them dudes got defeated. Okay. Let's go check out what's going on here. Don't really feel like taking any randos right now. Just double checking that I'm not missing any hidden events. Because you gotta do that kind of thing. Alright, let's go to here, and we might actually be able to get Zapan for once. I never get Zapan. So you tried sticking metal chopsticks into a bay of hail, but only got 3 channels? Huh. You know what? That might just work, actually. I don't... Actually, no, that probably doesn't work anymore. Rabbit ears don't work at this point, do they? Like, I thought they purged all that stuff ages ago. Anyway, the rain's gone, so the lag's gone, so... Nifty. And I forgot to pick up Boon of Swiftness on all these guys. It really speeds stuff up. So these lizards are more or less going to take over as being frontliners. What I really want is to be able to pick up some hoplite marks. We won't be able to actually pick them up for a long while, but once Farampa opens up, we're going to make a couple runs through that. That should get at least a few hoplite marks. Once I can upgrade all the lizards, they're going to take over as the front line, because Evade is just OP as an ability. So, gonna just leave them with whatever weapons they've got. I was gonna originally make them into a spear formation, but I think it might be easier just to leave them as they are. I want to try to make this run as fast as possible. See, bales of hay are on the right wavelength. I can see that. I mean, it seems like they've got the right potential to be. I could be all this dramatic music for this fight. The only one in any sort of jeopardy is Japan. This is the one route where he's not a rapist. Interesting. Like, seriously, of all the characters to pull severe U-turns, like, he's just a plucky, happy, happy-go-lucky mercenary in this one. In both the other routes, he's just, like, super rapey. Tries to get it on with... He literally tries to do funny business to Kashua at one point. And yeah, that's actually what gets him killed. So, clearly, what a good guy. What a good guy. Yeah, no, seriously, he does. If you go through, Chaos and, Chaos and Neutral, since they technically start off as just Chaos, that is what eventually gets him killed, because, like, he keeps insinuating it over and over and over throughout the story, and then all of a sudden he's basically out on his back in the middle of Valmarca there, and, he's like, yeah, that's not the proper use for a hostage, and kills him, and, like, Vice's whole shtick is just he's super protective of her the entire game. So that's, yeah, it's implied that that's what he was getting up to. So clearly this is a guy that we definitely want to be hiring. We might save him just for the sake of some extra Berserker XP. Actually, what I want to do right now is I want to fire him for the time being, as in you can hire him and fire him. So, let's go over here. They'll probably try to heal him pretty quick, but we just need a couple shots on Darza to be able to finish him off. So yeah, we got that. He's one of the tougher units by far. All these guys should hold up pretty well until then. So, the thing is, you can get him at this point, and then you can also fire him again. When is my fencer coming up? Pretty soon. Let's make sure that you actually heal him. We could. If he dies, whatever. Really don't care that much. Yeah, no, he's dead. Oh well. Buys a pan. No one cares. Of all the luck, standing out in the middle of everybody turned out to be a bad idea. Who'd have thunk it? Okay, back to melee. Back to not really caring about that. So, one thing that you can use him for, not that it really would have been terribly useful for the run, but you can essentially save him in this fight. There's an option to either hire him or fire him. If you don't hire him, he'll show up later and you save him again. And at that point, you're at a much higher level, and especially if you ended up going over, over-leveling Berserkers like I plan to do, you can actually get a unique axe off of him. But I want to say if you level him high enough, you can get the procs, but I'm not 100% certain. I do know that, like, the higher level you go, the higher level kind of equipment he'll come in with. And he's one of the few that you know for a fact that you're going to hire, and you know for a fact can come in with that stuff. So, it's handy. It's handy. Like, honestly, getting a hold of higher end equipment than you're supposed to be able to is not exactly impossible. But it is a little bit of a pain sometimes. So there's a lot of Tactics Advance Dark Edition. Dude, this game is extremely dark. Like, it gets absurdly dark in a bunch of times. But yeah. Like, I mean, at one point, one of the things that they actually changed in this version, I think I actually pointed this out before, but there's actually a pregnant lady that's one of the bosses, and one of the things people complained about with the SNES version is just like, dude, how come we can save all these other characters, but we can't choose to spare her, because that's messed up. So what they added in this version, it's actually this guy's wife that's that character. So Vendry. So what happens is, yeah, if you get her down to critical, she'll basically mention like, oh man, I'm gonna get all my vengeance because I got a baby that I'm super pissed for, and she'll at that point, the next round that Denim gets, will be like, yeah, look, you're injured, you're gonna be a mom, we're not doing this. You're spared. We're only here to get somebody out of your dungeon. Like, really, this is not for us. And so he backs off of that situation, which I really love that's one of the things they changed. So yeah. Oh, what else? I mean, you've got all the usual war stuff. You've got several of your main characters that either end up getting killed off or, literally for the case of one of the main characters, tortured until they're a vegetable. Saving them is one of the requirements for this particular run. So we'll see that when we get to it. In fact, it's kind of bizarre to me, because if you end up going through the Coda timeline, there's a lot of things that don't make any sense anymore. Specifically, like, there's a big old question mark as far as who exactly wound up where, what exactly was everybody's reaction to that guy surviving. It feels like there should have been a lot of ripple effects from him making it out of the ravine, or rather making it out of Rhyme for that matter. Oh yeah, that sweet lag. Let's get that lag going. Beautiful. I have some theories on how to fix this, so we'll fix that later. And yeah, after we clear Tynemouth here, I believe we'll finally be able to go get some hoplites. So there we go. Let's go ahead and save that sucker right now, just for the hell of it. And yeah, we're getting back into business here. Hello, Tynemouth. You look like a fun hill. The reason that you don't want to overlevel, by the way, you can't get anything better than the longbows as far as bows go for a very long time. They're the main thing that allows being overleveled at times to work if you're in a random fight. So like if we run into any random fights, they're just going to be well equipped, well out of our league here. So yeah, the idea is that you just take story fights, you ignore all the random fights. You just get all the leveling done that you want to, and then you go back to the proper level so that you're actually able to, field the equipment that you need to. So crafting, for all intents and purposes, allows you to skip a tier plus add an extra effect to a weapon. It's a dumb way that they implemented it, but whatever. Again, I think OV did it much better with the whole side grade system. Now the fun part is, Gatalio here, he can get pissed and attack you. I actually showed this off in the Griffin run. So yeah. By the way, the Griffin run is still ongoing. It's not cancelled or anything. I got asked that the other day. So that's still happening. It's just going to be like a, I don't know, once or twice a week thing. Not very many folks appear to want to see Griffins running around eating everybody. Apparently that's not everyone's thing. But what we're going to do is have Canopus take a few steps forward, snipe Winnow in the face, and then that guy's going to get pissed, he's going to become the boss, and then he's going to get shot in the face. That's how we do this. He's actually one of the few that shows up deliberately overleveled. Almost every other time there's a bit of normalcy to it all. But yeah, he's at 16, so even our overleveled characters, he's stronger than that. Now, I want to get a little bit of TP built up for him, so he's going to go and insta-kill this guy, just for points. Gotta get those points, you know? Did she just say that Gelato is in danger? No, she said one of the most awkward lines in the entire game, which is, watch out for that Gatalio, he is danger. Because that's a way that humans speak. So yeah. Who thought that was a good line? I don't know, but it's hilarious and I love it. If you happen to have seen the AI arena that I was doing a little while ago, that's why Gatalio's team, like every time that Gatalio gets his first turn, he just screams, "I am the danger." I want to redo that at some point, or rather continue doing it at some point. It was fun. Those AI teams were great. It doesn't work in this game is the funny part. Like, even though it is in this game, trying to do AI teams in this thing is a nightmare, because you have to go and you basically have to scale everybody up to 50, because everybody's going to start the fight at whatever level you want them to. So you might as well start at 50, because starting at anything else is just where do you draw that line exactly. And then you also have to have, the appropriate things for each and every single level. You have to have you have to somehow have the right crafted things for every single level and all that. In theory, the way that it was supposed to work is that you would... Actually, she's right there. Let's just have you go forward. in theory, the way that it was supposed to work is that, yeah, you make a little challenge team, and you challenge your friends, and it's all nifty and everything. And I forgot to turn on Tremendous Shot, so let's go ahead and do this. There we go. 2. And now he's the boss. Avenge us! After she told him to run away. And yeah, now he's all angry. He's like, I'm gonna go beat you guys. Although, apparently nobody told him he's a Terror Knight, so he's terrible. He's gonna completely lay waste to everybody else now. There's no reason to actually do this. This is just kind of a little extra event. Technically speaking, you just have to wait till he gets to the end of the map, and that's it. But that's fine. It's perfectly fine. Everyone's gonna get a little bit of extra training. No worries. Actually, all these crossbow users are pretty darn handy. Should probably check how close they are to rank 2. So once they get rank 2, they'll start going up even faster, and it's rank 6 that I want for my crossbows, because I want them to have burst fire. Because that's a thing that crossbows have. And is totally not busted up whatsoever. Okay, 40. You know, they're okay. That's honestly not that bad. They give you so many grinding opportunities that it's not, not really even a worry. Bear in mind, this guy, over-leveled, he's attacking functionally unarmed people. Who have a 10% resist to stun. He's still getting only getting 70% accuracy at best. So yeah, this is after he's over our level. Again, against a class that isn't resisting it very well, against units that aren't stacked for resistance or anything. And yeah, let's just say that class is awful. Gelato indeed, Gelato indeed. He is King Gelato. Lord of the sucky classes that nobody should ever use. That's why we're just going to use them for extra stats. Yeah, when the super character can still be 3-shotted. This is, funnily enough, one of the few times in the entire game that they actually give you a super character. Like, this guy is legitimately stronger than pretty much every other person in the Galaxy team, really. Like, by far. It's kind of surprising. Even up until the end of the game, this character at his current level is stronger than most of them. So, sure. I mean, I guess Zybos is arguably, like, close, but still. Still, he won't stand much of a chance, but we should probably get rid of all those healers. Not that they're doing too much, really. As soon as Canopus gets a finisher, I'll be able to beat this guy no problem. Let's see, games have taught me that crossbows fire rapidly and reload automatically. Exactly! I mean, Dark Souls especially. Dark Souls 2, man. You ever played that one? Friggin' Dual Avalons? Man. Dual Avalon run is the best. It's just dual burst fire crossbow. It's amazing. You're pretty much locked in place with every time that you fire, but it is the best way to play. Unfortunately, you have to play it in New Game Plus, because, you know, actually, you need to play it at New Game Plus 1, or Plus 2, rather. Because, I mean, you can only get 1 Avalon per run. But still. Really darn fun. I'm gonna have him just take a standard shot here so he can get his points up. And he got his free crit anyway. So next round, he's gonna have his finisher, he's gonna finish this guy off, and we'll be done here. We will be done! It's a Donato. It's the only played Bloodborne Dark Souls Remaster. Yeah, Remaster looked alright. I'm pretty sure they only did it for the sake of porting it, more so than actually remastering it, because all they redid was a couple textures, but oh well. I mean, I guess they added extra people to PvP and stuff, so that's nice. I did toss up considering whether or not I would go pick that up at some point, because quite frankly, all the computers that I have are kind of running towards old, and I, was curious to see how the remaster would go. Like, if I was to pick up a remaster, it would be on that one. I already have the dang thing like 4 separate times. Because I have the original Dark Souls, then that one ended up getting lost. Then I have the, let's see, I have the Prepare to Die edition, and then I also have that for the PC as well. And then also have... That's a little bit... You know what? Screw it. Take a nap. Or no, he's sleep-proof. Actually, I think he's death-proof. Which is actually a really cool name for an ability. But yeah, Bloodborne is freaking awesome. Been loving it. Okay, he's not death-proof, but he should be proofed to a bunch of things. Steadfast. Why couldn't he sleep? Resist slow, resist stun. Okay. Parry only rank 1 for some reason. But yeah, rank 3 swords. It's one of the reasons his evasion is reasonably high. But yeah, actually, been going through through Bloodborne for the first time. So, funny note on that. I actually got completely stuck. Like, after... What's it? Let's see, beat the Dark Beast. Beat... what's it? Let's see, beat Vicar... yeah, Vicar Amelia was before Dark Beast anyway, so beat the Dark Beast. Basically, just that entire church area is more or less cleaned out. I beat the Witch, and then more or less just got stuck because I wasn't sure where else to go. Like, I know... Somebody already told me that you're supposed to, like, get your insight up and go to that, like, big rotunda-looking area. And then, apparently, it, like, takes you to another area instead of insta-killing you. But, funny part is, I decided to go try that whole insight route. So I go and do some of the Chalice Dungeon type things. And figure, okay, you know, this is going to be an okay situation. So I go through the basic one a few times, get a little bit bored of it because I don't have any other ones unlocked. So I decided to just go online and join a random one, and somebody has what I assume to be some retardedly high level one. And so I go there. There's like a pack of dogs that just insta-kill you and stuff like that. So fight through this pack of dogs. I'm looking over at the amount of echoes there, and it's enough for 4 levels just off those few dogs there. I'm like, yeah, I think I might possibly be in the wrong area right now. just might be a little bit under-leveled. just slightly. But yeah, kind of liking the RNG aspect to the stones though, like where you get the kind of random little upgrades that you slot in. Because some of them are really, really dumb. Like the fact that I have so I've been using the axe as a halberd. So the halberd with... Okay, got some fancy stuff out of that, got some new levels, and alright. So yeah, the axe / halberd thing, I have it, I think, near maxed out. Just put all the stuff towards it. And then there were 2 of them that gave like 12 and 20% bonus damage for some reason, plus poison. So it's just like... The thing's basically like doing absurd amounts of damage even against stuff that I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to actually be able to fight yet. So, it's handy. Alright, what else was going on here? I think I was going back here. Oh yeah, we're supposed to find out if they lost or not. Because we were on this route. Now, Farumpa should be open at this point. Let's go check that sucker out. Yes! Okay! Farumpa is open for hunting. We can get hoplites. Friggin' awesome. Here's what to do, though. These guys all need to become Terranites, so... Let's go ahead and... you know what? Actually, one sec. One sec. And I'm back. Sorry about the little pause there. Alright, so first of all, you get a little bit of a difference with a few little Chaos Ram things if you do this here. So this is one of the better lines in the game, I feel. It's like, what are your business, etc, etc, etc. It's like, oh yeah, you know, don't like you. So he gets all awkward about it. So she gets all pissed off, like, oh yeah, we're trying to build a friggin' society, it's great. It's like, okay, okay. And he's like, oh, you know, but look at, like, your brother, he's a douche. Like, maybe, you know, maybe you don't like him. And so she gets all angry and everything. So, okay, I just want to point out here. So, her line, right? So, she's like, okay, she's gonna go stay by her brother's side no matter what. She doesn't care about the country. She will eventually just leave his side for literally no reason. It doesn't matter what the route is, it needs to happen for plot reasons, but it makes less and less sense as you go through the game over and over and over. It's like, in one case, it's like, okay, great, we won the war, everything's great now. It's like, no, but I gotta go. I gotta go have plot stuff. Like, but we've taken over everything except for this little northern bit, and we can just kind of leave that alone. No, but I gotta go, bye. And then she basically gets kidnapped. Or another one, it's like, oh yeah, you know, we're not doing so well, but I'm gonna stick by no matter what. And then 5 seconds later, no, I'm actually not. Okay, bye. It's just like every route, she has some stupid reason for doing it. But let's see. Okay, only play Bloodborne, Dark Souls, game bounced around, only going through Child's Dungeon, you find the story. Well, yeah, that one, like, it's ridiculously easy at this point. It's funny because it kicked me in the nuts the very first time I went through, and just, yeah. That friggin' spin move on the halberd with the amount of upgrades it's got on it is hilarious. It just completely wipes the floor with everything. See here, a Tater Tot? Yes, that was my little Tater Tot. He said hello. And also she said hello, and she's off playing right now. They're both playing right now, you know, smiley, as they do. Let's see, bro name Pants? Exactly. He is Pants. You like the Kirk hammer? That thing's fun. Just go around smashing everything. I tried using it for a little bit because I had to, like, literally my my build was just like strength and guns. This guy was basically friggin' Schwarzenegger, and yeah, it actually held up pretty darn well. But ultimately, yeah, just the fact that the moveset on the axe is so good. It's a little bit less damage, but dude, that spin move is it's dumb. It's probably the best spin move in the entire series. Like, as far as halberds go, they've always been really good, but specifically, like, that one is nuts. Just plain nuts! Like, okay, you had your first one in Demon Souls, right? And yeah, like, the basic attacks on the halberd, which, funnily enough, you could use that as a starting weapon in that one too, really good. Like, you had your kind of triple poke type move, and then it came with a few little extra slashes for a little bit of extra movement, and then you had your heavies for full area control. Then yeah, you had your little spin move on it. Dark Souls 1 was pretty alright, you know, same thing. You just had your overhead, your stab, everything. So same kind of stuff you see in Bloodborne there. In DS2, it was just like all about the spin move, because you had a triple spin in that one. So that covered an obnoxious amount of range to the point that it became borderline OP in multiplayer. Specifically in the lava area, because you could basically get somebody kind of backed up against the lava area, and a lot of people seem to constantly forget that the third spin in that move essentially has knockback on it, so it'll just send somebody flying. And yeah, just people run into that all the dang time, because it's really hard to actually approach. And then yeah, they for 3, you know, more or less kind of mid-ground between those two. But for BB, yeah, spin to win, sponsored by Sonic, exactly. For BB, you have the same knockback ability, but it's only on your second spin. And against most things, it applies the damage of both those spins if your first one lands. It just automatically assumes the second one's going to hit. It's a weird decision that they made on that one, but whatever. Alright, so we got a few extra stats on them. We're actually going to go back to Rampa now. Actually, you know what? I probably don't even want to do that. Let's arm these guys up a slight bit. What do I have equipment-wise for you? Because I probably want to make them into actual units soon. Oh my god, that actually happens? Who knew? So, let's give them one more level, I think. Or one more fight. As these guys, I'm just going to equip them in armor. just to have some defense. It's honestly not going to be anything significant, but it's nice to have. And then, yeah, I'll start training them as the actual units that I want them to be. The thing is, I'm gonna train. Let's see, I'm gonna train the dragoons probably earliest. There's a kind of guaranteed place you can pick up some dragoons. Unfortunately, this route, going through law, you don't get your guaranteed dragoons early on, so you gotta wait till now. But there we go. Actually, let's go to your skills. Gonna need your skills. I need my skills? Oh, dang. Okay. Strengthen 2, we are a couple levels away from that. He doesn't really need much else, to be totally honest. Could go max TP. I mean, he doesn't really end up maxing it out that often, but give him even more scaling damage on Tremendous Shot. Or, now with Lead Shot. And why not? And we've got one too many. So let's get Pants out of here. There we go. But yeah, no, that spin a win move is dumb. Only had one PvP fight so far, and apparently the guy forgot that cliffs existed, so he just got launched straight off a cliff. Pretty great. Pretty darn great. So, here's what we do. Typically speaking, when you want to go solo a map, you just go find all of the biggest sources of damage to your squishies first of all. These guys, I mean, they're reasonably tanky, just because they've been trained as knights before, so they've got a little bit extra vitality, they've got a few extra other things. They're going to be able to take at least some hits. They shouldn't completely fold over, though, again, this map should be spawning in at twice the level that they are. On top of that, we're actually going to... Yeah, no, they're just going to scatter around, whatever. I should probably get Sidestep on him. It's one of the few weaknesses that he has. Anyway, it looked like they were just about to level 10, so even if we can't necessarily pick up everybody, we can at least pick up most of these as kills, hopefully. It's probably going to take one shot there, one shot on the wizard, one shot on the cleric, then should be able to insta-kill the lizard. The fencers shouldn't be able to do too much, and yeah, they're at just about the right amount here. So that should work out just fine. But yeah. So yeah, to finish the story from earlier, like I was saying, right into that thing, basically fought 4 dogs, became even more over-leveled than before. So I'm pretty sure there's very little challenge left in the game now, but still. Also, little guy needs a little bit of assistance, so I will be stepping away for just a moment. I've said it once, I will say it a million times. Friggin' babies are amazing. They're just the greatest. Okay, so he didn't get the crit, so actually let's go ahead and Tremendous that one. Just to save a little bit of time, because I don't really want to go and take a second shot at the guy. There we go. Funnily enough, despite the fact that the AI loves to spam Leaden, most of the time it ends up getting ignored. Usually the reasons why... well... So Leaden often gets ignored because it's assumed to be a completely worthless effect. But it turns out, yeah, despite the fact that it starts off with, like, oh yeah, it'll reduce your vertical movement by 1 tile, it seems like they should, I don't know, maybe mention the fact that it reduces your evasion by 40%. It seems like that might be a little bit bigger of a deal between those effects, but, you know, what have you. Also, weirdly enough, I'm surprised that I haven't seen any more complaints about the purple text. Seems like something somebody would have brought up. I guess that means everybody loves it, and we should leave it as that forever. It's so nice. It's all pretty like. Alright, Patu. But yeah, last night was sitting around watching watching some shows with the wife and all that, and I ended up breaking out One Vision for a little bit. I'm like, man, been a little bit, been a hot minute since I got my standard One Vision fix. Because I'm still doing the Ironman runs of those, just kind of on my my own time there, like doing the long form version, as it were. The ones where I'm actually trying to find the tricks to kind of optimize these other two runs here. And man, it's like, it's just such an amazing feeling going back to that dang mod. It's like every single time, it's like, yes, this is exactly my jam. Every part of this is exactly what I want. And, you know, I'm surprised that I actually got into a discussion yesterday, speaking of the axe thing from earlier. Because, yeah, there was, I was basically told, like, oh, yeah, spears aren't very good. I'm like, spears are amazing! How do you even say that? And, like, oh, it's this amazing damage calculation I figured out based off of damage type. It's like, you need to only use bows for piercing damage. I'm like, but spears do just fine. I don't know where this logic comes from, so I'm really curious to see him stream it. He actually does stream stuff occasionally, so I'm really curious to see what his actual thing is that he came up with. Because, yeah, the guy knows his dang strategies, so, like, if he's considering what I consider one of the best weapons in the dang game to be not very good, I'm really curious to see why. It's like, there must be some trick that I don't know about. Use this one simple trick to make your axes amazing. Like, personally, the way that I prefer to play, like, I don't like axes very much. In either version, really. But that's just because I prefer to kind of go for a sort of, for lack of a better term, kind of choke-out style, as it were. Just like, you get everybody shut down, you get your spear wall slowly moving in, you get as many hits off as possible, and, yeah, just kind of win by choking them out over time. I think it works pretty okay. Alright, let's set you to manual so that we can... yeah, AI manual. Funnily enough, even the healer AI actually won't ever revive anybody. That's just a feature that they straight up don't have the option to do. They'll completely waste all of your other really expensive healing items, but apparently Blessing Stones are where they draw the line. I'm assuming it must have been something to do with the fact that they couldn't have the AI reviving the other characters. Like, they didn't have anybody to revive on the other end. So that could have been it. Alright, let's get this lizard gone. At least mostly gone. Alright, let's get this other one revived. So I've got a pretty decent amount of these. There's a very good chance that I won't even see any more injuries or losses or anything else up until we get into endgame. That's when stuff tends to get a little bit real, and again is one of those just weird aspects of the balance of this game. It's really, like, the early game is relatively tough, relatively balanced. You get to mid-game, you're just kind of having an easy time by that point. And then, yeah, once you hop into the 20 to 30 range, then everything just starts going completely haywire. Suddenly all the scaling ends up taking effect. It's like, good lord, where did all this come from? There's suddenly an entirely different game here. So then you have fun with that. And, you know, eventually it settles into a nice rhythm, it becomes easy again. I mean, in that regard, I feel like if they went a little bit more difficult with the mid-game, like if they threw in a few more little challenges here and there, maybe if they didn't go for... well, definitely shouldn't have gone for what they did with the Azelston thing, because they kind of expected people to metagame it for some reason. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when you have the option to get Azelston, the average level that the party is expected to be is like maybe 14, 15. But the actual fight itself has enemies at like 25 to 30. So, yeah, you have zero chance of winning that fight. There's really no reason for that to be there. It's a retarded amount of grinding, let's put it that way. Alright, so we spent about 4 grand on that fight, but it's okay. We got a Scorpion. Scorpions are amazing. Scorpions are the amazingness. Alright. So now that we've gotten some levels, now that we've gotten some base stats, you can kind of see we've gotten about like 4 or 5 points across the board from doing this method. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and change everybody into what I want them to be. Namely, do I really want to go? We just got ninjas. Just got ninjas. Okay, ninjas and beast tamers. I'm going to go pick up more of those later. Let's go ahead and get fencers. So we got fencers here. I want these two as archers, but they're going to become dragoons. And actually all the rest are going to become archers as well. I don't want to fly any higher in those levels. That's why I'm going to keep at least one fencer available. So we'll do it that way. So we're going into Parappa to go pick up Swordmasters, pick up Rogues, and pick up some Hoplites, and hopefully pick up some Dragoons. Dragoons being the big one. Hoplites also probably being secondary in that regard. Okay, so let's give everybody bows. Probably good to let them actually have that skill this time. So bows and anatomy at the very least, tremendous shot as well, and probably some strengthen. Got that somewhere here. Yeah. So let's pop them suckers on everybody. Everybody. Okay, we got that, we got that. We need one more slot on you. And let's pop that last one on there. You've already got your bows. Let's give you anatomy. Let's give you strength then. Let's give you all that good stuff. Probably should put True Flight because they can't afford it. But it's 120 that I don't want to spend on everybody, so screw it. If they miss it, Canopus won't. Technically speaking, I don't need Augment Light on them, but there's no real reason to take it off, so good enough. I would put Trajectory, but I don't plan to actually make use of it. So here we are. Almost done with everybody. It's not going to be much longer with this. Once we get everybody kind of more or less figured out. Yeah, there's your bows. These guys have a lot of weapon skills at this point. This does tend to give you a lot of clutter skills, unfortunately. But I'll take it. You know what? I'll definitely take it. Because it'll make this run a bit more possible than it would be under normal circumstances. Because yeah, if you didn't know, it's annoying. It's very annoying to get this title. Just because you have to be able to get all of the Zenobians, you have to go through Palace of the Dead, you have to go through all of that stuff, and you actually have to go through Palace of the Dead twice, technically speaking. I'm gonna try to see if we can skip it, but I don't think we can. Like, I don't remember the exact specifics. I probably should have checked that out earlier. It's like one of those things where it's just kind of assumed that it's going to be a thing. I forgot. What did I forget on you? You've got bows, you've got anatomy, you've got strength, and you've got tremendous. Oh, he doesn't have augment light like everybody else did. Let's give you deflect, I guess. You're going to be training with deflect later. There you are. Only a couple more now. Actually, wait, you already have crossbows. Don't do that. Alright, anatomy. Strengthen. Tremendous. We are very, very close to being way too overleveled to actually make this happen, so I'm gonna have them run a Parappa fight just to make sure that we're not too overleveled. Just for safety's sake. Not sponsored by League of Legends? Yeah, apparently they gotta sponsor everything. Can honestly say, having had somebody try to get me into that game before, not a fan. Just generally don't like it very much. It just doesn't seem that fun. Alright. So we can't make the Scorpion +1. I believe it's going to be next chapter that we unlock the Tier 2 crafting. Just double check if for some reason it appeared. Yeah, no, we're definitely not at the point of having Tier 2 crafting. Let's go ahead and give you the Spear. So the Scorpion's good. The Scorpion +1 is one of my favorite spears in the game, though. It is the best. Let's go ahead and give Canopus a Brigandine. Funnily enough, the Brigandine, yeah, it's just like a flat upgrade to the Balder armor. Alright. So we got that saved there. And longbow, longbow. The standard longbow would not hold up at all at this point. The +1 will hold up for a little bit. Like, we've maybe got until level 18 or so to make this happen. So I'm doing it right now. An unequipped chain, because it's just basically weighing them down right now. Perfect. He's going to be more in the front line, so that's perfectly fine on him. Then let's have you learn some of these other abilities. Spirit Surge, yes. Instill, yes. I don't think he'll use it, but it's worth a try. Light Guard, not that we'll ever use it, but it's nice to have on the list. Let's have Silent Light. Singing Light he can't use, Cleanse he can't use. Interestingly enough, Ease he can. So he can't cure a specific effect, but he can cure a bunch of them. Sure, why not? Let's sell some of this. Sell all but 3 of these. For the sake of casualties, by the way, and for the sake of reference, when I did my my testing run for this Ironman run, I did end up losing, let's say, I think 8 characters throughout the course of the run. And yeah, 3 of those were actually Vice, Ozma, and Kashua, weirdly enough. But it's mostly situational stuff that caused that to happen. Okay, Boon of Swiftness, that's the one that I really want. He already has heal, let's get heal 2, and there we go. So now he's all stacked for his abilities. So he should be providing pretty good support to everybody. I'm going to stick him probably on a Vanguard roll. And yeah, we should be good there. And everybody else will be set to ranged. Now, what you want to actually do is set your ranged units to melee, as backwards as that sounds, because they'll end up doing a bit better. Yeah, let's pop you back here, and yeah. Let's make sure that this party holds up. Because if they can't beat Tynmouth automatically, then we're going to have issues when we get to the forest. Alright, so they're all set to melee. Yeah, you'll go ahead and take your shot, and then we'll set your AI as well. So, if you didn't know, Tynmouth comes in at a far lower overall baseline than you end up seeing in Farampa, because you actually end up seeing kind of around up to mid-game, give or take. Well, let's see how they do. So they're doing 23s, that's not so bad for generics. We're definitely getting behind on equipment. And yeah, these guys are currently underneath. Specifically, there's only one area that I actually want to reach in Tynmouth, or not Tynmouth, but in Farampa there. Which is if you take the rightmost path, you have one fight with, well, you have 2 fights with Griffins, then you have a fight with a pretty severe terrain advantage against a numerically inferior group, and then you have a group with Dragoons, Terror Knights, Knights, and Swordmasters that show up on a hill. So that specifically is the fight that I want to get, because they have a really good chance of dropping their marks. You end up getting rogues later on, but I don't even want to approach the northern route yet, because that's blocked off by a bunch of dragon units. Again, I want to get Dragon Slayer before doing that. One way or another, this is one of the earlier points to actually pick up Dragon Slayer. So, I want to go ahead and do that. Later on in the game, by the way, you can start completely ignoring Dragoons. It's not really advised to do so, because they're pretty okay as far as classes go. But anybody that you give 3 pieces of dragon equipment will just automatically have the skill. They don't come with Beast Slayer, though, so you end up getting screwed over by Octopi. Yeah, you know what, these guys will hold up. I think they're okay. Especially with Canopus leading them. This should be alright. Okay. So I'm going to have them retreat, actually. Just so we're not getting an extra level off this. But yeah, they handle that with no trouble whatsoever. Just because they're firing fast enough to make it work. Man, all these buff items, and we're never going to use any of them. Only equip 6. So let's get Voltaire out of here. Let's get... I think Evan was the other one that wasn't doing super hot. Let's get Pants in there, and then I'm going to set him to a healer role. That will cause him to attack sometimes, but generally speaking, he should just be providing support. The only thing, if you're ever wondering why it is that... Yeah, rear guard is fine, actually. If you ever wonder why it is that they give you griffins to fight earlier on, like, they give you one dragon, but generally speaking, they avoid a lot of the bulkier monster types. Specifically, dragons around this level start getting really tough. But yeah, with griffins, I think the only reason that they give you so many of them early on, especially in Farampa, is just because they're weirdly weak to pierce damage. It's like arrows and spears will deal with them pretty effectively. So if you ever wondered, you know, like maybe you were under-leveled, went to Farampa, you ever wondered why your guys with rapiers were doing okay, that's why. So yeah, these guys, guess we'll see how it goes. They're doing alright damage. It could be worse, could definitely be worse. Once they start getting their tremendous shots off consistently, that's when stuff's going to improve. They're mostly relying on Denim for a little bit of support healing. But we're only here for Dragoons anyway. Dragoons and some extra classes. If I can get, like, let's say, I don't know, like a few ninja class marks, I'll just go make a couple of them into full-on party members. I'll probably go ahead and have Rakes and Pan as the ninjas then. I have the two ladies with their crossbows as the Dragoons. I have the two... probably gonna have two of the others as rune fencers, because them things are pretty darn decent. Because I like to have 3 rune fencers, 2 dragoons, 2 archers at the very least, or rather 2 archers and then 2 of some melee class. In this case, ninjas will do just fine, because quite frankly they're better at melee than all the other dedicated melee units. You've got berserkers, they're pretty fantastic. I was gonna go turn all the lizards into hoplites. They're gonna be good for any time we need a defensive line. And, yeah, it's probably a bit more setup than is needed, but I think it's more fun this way. There's a bit more interesting stuff going on. Delete the witch? Why do I want to delete the witch? We'll get there. Alright, apparently we're not getting through, so we're not getting that bonus pierce damage. That's a shame. Because I probably should have trained these guys as more dex classes, but that's what the rogues are going to be for. As good as the rogues can be, and I actually might change Denim into a knife rogue later. Like, as good as the rogues can be, their dex training is one of the things you really want to use them for. Probably picking up just better bows, really. Better bows would really sort out a lot of our problems. But we'll get those later down the line. Like, after longbows, I want to make the jump immediately to siege bows. So that's going to be around end of chapter 3, because these ones will last us a very long time. Like, once we go up to Rhyme, it's just a matter of like sniping Vice once. Actually, not once. We're gonna have to use the Crapier's archers to snipe Aracel, and then we're gonna have to snipe Vice once. It should get him down to low health, and yeah, that'll be good. But yeah, Mr. Pan, which witch are you talking about? Out of curiosity, is there actually a witch that I should be deleting? Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know, and no one's shocked by this information. I've got one guy down right now, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. I think they had one healer that ran away, or they might only have 2 left. I don't know. Alright, let's see. Did any sales come into my store today? No, they didn't. It's a shame. Dang it, store, why are you not giving me more sales today? Trying to go ahead and actually get some bills paid, but no. Gonna be all like, no, I don't wanna. It's not something I wanna do. Yeah, I'll be honest, I wish I had more reliable work pretty much every day of my life. But that's one of those cases. Sometimes you get bizarrely legal screwed in very oddly specific ways by absolutely crazy people. And then you gotta deal with that crap for years to come. Because I guess I just got some bad rolls or something, I don't know. I don't know, that's how that goes. Wish these guys would use their tremendous shot, but no. Get that slight bit of extra damage. I guess they figure they're fast enough that it doesn't matter. It's unclear. It's unclear. Okay, Mr. Snoop. I'm not too worried about any of these guys dying, by the way. Just because as soon as Canopus and one more guy fire, that's kind of the end of it. So we'll be there at that point. What in the crap are you doing? No. No. You're the damage dealer, you don't... Right, well now I gotta go revive that guy. Thanks, you douche. Trying to use the AI here. Make this all convenient. I guess I can't do that then, huh? Let's set those to that. Leave the one guy that's actually doing the healing to do the healing. What they probably could have done is something similar to how a few other games do it, where, you just kind of have them like, oh, you can do this thing, but not this thing kind of situation. It would have been really nice to see. Actually, they even have it in other FF games that came before this one, so it's kind of surprising that they actually didn't include that kind of system. But what can you do? Alright. I just want to get my dang Dragoons. Yeah, let's go ahead and tremendous up here. Take a little bit of a snipey snipe at this guy. And now that we're getting all that bonus damage, yeah. It's weird. It's unclear when exactly certain damage types end up actually coming into effect. Like, for example, those guys will take like 1 damage from a lot of things, but then become weirdly weak to piercing. Then you run into other issues. Because nothing can ever be simple. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and... let's replace you, just because I'd have to reset your AI. And let's replace you with you. So, that should do it. Same thing, everybody's running off AI. And this map in particular gives them a lot of time to get all their free snipes off. And I think after this fight, they should probably both level up to 17. Which should be just about right. And yes, I know, I set them to ranged instead of melee, but they've got enough characters that it shouldn't matter. Let's just fast forward. Get all fast-like. Be all quick about it. Over here dropping stuff all over the place. You know what's interesting? So, by default, if you have a character set to AI, like if you have them set to AI and you have them set to attack, they won't they'll gladly go and run up and punch something. But no matter what you do, for some reason they didn't include an unarmed ranged attack. Presumably that's why monster units don't throw rocks the entire time. Again, something OV shoved into the model a while ago, that you have the option just to equip them with rocks instead of their usual bite attack, but, well, not griffins, because they're too heavy to use it. Which, granted, would look goofy, but I'm kind of surprised that they gave them the option to retaliate by throwing boulders. Because, yeah, it looks really strange. They have the option to throw them, it's just their basic attack, which looks goofy, but it's there. It always made me wonder why. Like, it doesn't really make sense. It wasn't in the base game, or in the original game. It's just one of those things they chucked in there for God knows what reason. And, there's a lot of that. Like, I feel like there's a lot more questions than answers when it comes to balance in this game, but it's always nice to go back and find some weird reference I never noticed before, that kind of thing. Like, I was especially happy to find that, find the thing with Canopus, with him being a reference to the previous OB games and stuff like that. Because, yeah, that spear thing bugged me for ages, and I know, it's petty, but it really bugged me, because I wanted to know why. Made no sense, because I'm like, god dang it, he came in with a spear before, I thought you were supposed to be a remake, what you doing? Like, no. It's supposed to be a reference, everything's a reference. In fact, even the dragon scales are a reference, believe it or not. So going to other games in the series, like OB in particular gets mentioned, or gets referenced so many dang times in weirdly subtle ways. Like, okay, that dragon scale, that's as far as I can tell, that started in OB64. As in, you go to, you go to fight, what's his face? I think Grozny is the guy's name, like the Super Dragon. So you go do that. Apparently you need to use that to actually get him to come out of hiding. And then from there, let's see. So you use the thing to bring him out of hiding, and then from there it becomes an item in Knight of Lotus later on. Yeah, there we go, both 17, and they actually held up much better in that fight. So I think we should be alright. But yeah, it becomes an emblem in Knight of Lotus, and then it comes back in this one as a crafting material. So it was nice. It's nice to see that there. You know, it's a handy little dealie. Okay, let's pop these two suckers back in here. Actually, let's probably replace Kia here with Voltaire. For no particular reason. And yeah, they officially connected Vagrant's story and Tactics Ogre with the Angel Knights, more or less. And it's still unclear. Like, it's to this day, it's still a little unclear whether that was somebody else's idea or whether that was actually intended as part of the game. Because as far as I understand, if you go and you overlevel your characters in the Japanese version, you can still find the Ambition. I think Outland still comes in with it, but there's no way for you to actually pick up the thing. But yeah, then the US version with all the DLC comes out, and yeah, you go back in time and fight him for it. So given that the thing is still there, you know, still semi-establishes Knight of Lotus's canon, I don't think they'll ever properly confirm that, and I'm a little bit worried about they have another expansion coming to FF14. And now they're bringing in all the FFT stuff officially, as in you know how you go into the basement of the monastery? Well, they turned that into like what is probably going to be a 5 times longer than necessary friggin' raid. And so, you know, so it goes on. Apparently, the writing for one of them, and I quote, they're like, "Oh, please pry the escape key off your keyboard because it made some such dude cry." So, man, I really hope they don't. I hope they do it better. Let's just put it that way. Because I said this last time, but yeah, the TO reference that they put in there, I think it was best put the other day when somebody said it's well written but cringy as hell. Like, it's just well written, just not very good. But again, personal opinion. I just, and I guess a few other people's opinion as well. But I really didn't care for how they put the series in there, with both an impossible scene that never actually happens because, again, they show Denim at an elevation above Nibeth while he's still in his first form, while he actually was technically having just beaten him, which is a situation which never happens in any part of that. Like, there's no point when he's ever above him. The only times that they talk while he's in that form, because he basically, the whole, you know, go accept death thing is after he becomes a Lich and all that. And yeah, he's in his Lich form, apparently as a boss in that game. But he's in his physical form when they're showing that cutscenes. It's like, which one is it? Which one did you go for here? So, yeah, I don't know. I just get the feeling that they really don't care so much about the source material and all that, which, okay, fair enough. It's an old as hell series. It's probably dead at this point, but, you know, it would be nice if the guy writing it actually remembered it. But at this point, I wish that they would bring back the guy that did Knight of Lotus and OB64. It's like, just go let them do it. Let all the folks that worked on that actually sort out the series. You know, they seem to have pretty darn good ideas. It's not exactly like the writing is something that nobody else can ever do. Ooh, and I've got a De Chevalier. Too bad we're never going to use two-handed katanas because they suck, but I mean, we got them. Also, I just severely overleveled my archers to the point where we actually are in danger of running into the level wall with them. So, as a result, let's go ahead and replace you with you, and hopefully this will be just fine. Again, Mr. Pan, still waiting to find out what witch you were talking about. And I probably should have asked this earlier, but audio's working okay? Yeah, that Dragoon right there, really good chance of dropping Dragoon marks. The one in the back, less so. But early on, when you first start running into Dragoons, they have a much higher chance to drop their marks than anything else. Like, typically the way that they did the drop balance in this game is the first time you run into a class, that's your best chance to get their marks specifically. Then later on you start getting some of their equipment, and then later on you start getting just kind of whatever they were carrying. Somewhere in the middle of that, they have two little sections where you're more likely to get cards. It seems like they put way, way, way too much thought into all that, instead of just leaving it random, which probably would have been a little bit better. Hello there, Mr. Pro Cow. What you saying yup to? What are you yupping about? I think I missed something. I must have said... Did I ask a question? I think I asked a question. I don't remember what question I asked. Crap. Dang it. Brain, stop letting me down. I need you for things like breathing. So yeah, these guys, they have a decent chance to drop Ninja Marks too. Those would be pretty handy to have. Thankfully, because we gave everybody all those extra mage classes as training, their summons will do piss all. Like, technically, archers are supposed to be weak, and I swear only on this map, it feels like Shadowbind is unusually accurate, because it feels like on most of them it barely does anything. And I really wouldn't put it behind them, or put it past them to potentially give one map an inexplicable bonus to a particular skill for reasons that are never quite explained. And then they probably explain later in some bizarre backstory of like, specifically the gravity was really strong over here, so all their 20% hit all the time. But who knows? Wait. Why the crying face? What happened? What happened? I don't know what happened. Please explain, did I ask a question and do a dumb? I legitimately don't remember. This happens all the time. My memory is awful. We have established this. It's like, it's comically bad. Anyway. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention, with the Fire Emblem thing that cut off yesterday, that fight was actually going pretty darn well. Like, everything worked out pretty decently. And yeah, that's when all the internet jank started happening, so I apologize. And Voltaire dies again. Thank you for being the guy with your extra friggin' like 3 points or whatever in vitality. Sure good that that's paying off for you as you die every round. I will never find out what Mr. Cow said, apparently. God dang it! I don't know! I don't remember. Whoa. Hang on. Emulator froze. Emulator? Come back to me. Yeah, the computer's not frozen, it's just the emulator that's frozen. This is probably why I don't want to leave it on fast forward too long. Hang on. We can fix this. We have the technology. The technology is Control-Alt-Delete until it comes back to life. So, while we wait for the technology to happen, yeah. So, silence is pretty cool, huh? That's silence, though. Yeah. So, let's see. We got 6 people here right now. I'm expecting that to drop down to, like, 1 in a second. There we go. We're back. We're back. It's probably going to pull up a menu in just a second as it comes back to life. But there we are. Alright, so let's have you move over here, collect these marks. That's kind of the secondary reason I wanted him to do that. And let's go ahead and get Mr. Voltaire revived. Hello, Silence, my old friend. Exactly. But isn't an old friend if it's also a new friend? Alright, come on, Dragoon Marks. 3? Nope, we got a frickin' Brigandine. I don't even want items, especially armor. I don't really plan to use very much of it, because it's not terribly useful in this game. Okay. Yeah, like, honestly, the end game meta of this, I swear, is just like, you're running around with, just completely butt naked with a crossbow. So yeah, you just distract everybody with your dangly junk. That's, the true tactics. I know I say it ad nauseum, but that's why I love the mod. Because your equipment choices are actually a thing that matters, not just your weapon. It's like, my favorite thing in strategy games is not when you're going and preparing just your attack and all that kind of thing, but when you're going and preparing your defense. because that kind of stuff tends to be a lot more satisfying in my opinion. Like for example, even something like Enemy Unknown or XCOM Enemy Unknown, even though it's usually more practical to go take all of your all of your offensive skills over the defensive ones. Honestly, thinking about it's funny because yeah, you're usually taking perks for offense and then taking equipment for your defense. Or usually doing that with defense in mind. So like specifically, like you're probably bringing shotgunners for the sake of making sure that somebody can't attack, rather than for the sake of like, oh, I'm gonna do so much damage with this. Like no, this is here to cancel out this attack. This item over here is to cancel out this attack, etc. Actually, out of curiosity, how many people would be interested in seeing an Enemy Unknown randomizer? Because it actually came with the base game, actually both versions of the game. Specifically, Enemy Within came with the best randomizer, but it does have randomizers in there. So it randomizes stats, it randomizes perks, and it randomizes their entry stuff, as well as their movement range. So yeah, it actually came with that built in, which is, to my knowledge, it's one of the only cases where that's actually happened, because it almost never occurs. Let's see, all the equipment in my mind has more of an effect on stuff, so they might opt for lower HP just to get a status immunity. Exactly, like that kind of thing. So, again, that's why I compare the two over and over. Like, I'm sure it gets obnoxious at times, but it's like, I think it's a pretty fair comparison. Here, let's go ahead and get you on manual. Unfortunately, this guy obnoxiously survived with 1 health, which he might just lose right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that 1 health you had there? Such a shame. That worked out pretty perfectly, I'd say. Let's go ahead and get this dude revived. There we go. But yeah, anytime that a mod does that, I absolutely love it. Like, I think one of the best examples out there, even though I personally don't play it very much, is Long War. Again, going back to that whole XCOM thing. So what Long War did, they kind of just took in all of those various equipment slots you had in Enemy Unknown and just went completely to town on them. So, actually, you know what? We should actually retreat out of this map now that I think about it, because we didn't get those Dragoon marks. But yeah, no, they just like went completely nuts with it, to the point where just off the very start of the game, you're running with like, I think 7 different weapon options. You have just like options for all kinds of different weapon attachments and things like that. They've got options for all kinds of different throwables, and usually when it came to the base game, you had very few options as far as that went. Like for grenades and things, you just had your basic 3 tiers, plus you had poison, smoke, and later on you got needle. I don't think there was any fire in that one, and yeah, I think that was about it. And then you got the beacon, which, I mean, I guess it's all right, but still, point being, it's pretty darn nice. Now, now yeah, so would you guys be interested in seeing a randomizer of that one? Just the second wave randomizer, as it were. For the record, by the way, I absolutely love the randomizer in that thing. It's like, I wish every game came with that. Without question. It's like, honestly, every RPG... well, I consider it an SRPG, to be frank, because it plays like one. But I feel like every RPG, or every strategy game should come with options like that, where you can like go in and just set a bunch of modifiers. Here we go, return to fight. Like, especially the randomized training, aka randomized perks. That mess is just really fun. Like, you have cases where like you'll have a like a friggin' sniper with a bunch of close range crit bonuses, or you'll have not an assault, but like let's say you'll have a like a heavy that has that can do like double attack and things like that. You've got let's see, probably getting upgraded pistols and double shot is one of my favorite things. But yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. You get like, you can actually equip scanners on people that aren't snipers, aka stuff that Long War did. It's good stuff. Oh, and my task manager just decided to finally exist. that took a very long time. So if you've never done class mark grinding, this is how it's done. You just set everybody to auto, wait until there's 1 or 2 enemies left, and hope that in those sacks you get the items that you wanted. And then you hate every time that that the dancer, or not the dancers, every time the swordmasters spawn in. Like I said, their first shadow bind always hits, never fails. Anyway, but yeah, then you just automatically hate swordmasters every time because their stupid ability takes forever to use. And Harvest Dance is so pointless. Funnily enough, Harvest Dance and Purify are the 2 cases I've seen where Healcraft actually matters. It's an ability that you get very late in the game. It's you can get on any Draconic users. I don't even know why they bothered to program this stupid thing in, but it's literally an ability that says, hey, you can heal 5 extra on your next healer. Or on your next heal. It's like, okay. That's neat. When will that ever become useful? And the answer is, it isn't. Because, for example, if you've got Mother's Blessing or something like that, it doesn't scale up that 5%. Or that 5 health. I mean, it's approximately 5, sometimes it's less. Like, you'd think it would be like, okay, you know, it scales up with Blessing, you know, it's really useful, that kind of thing. No. It doesn't scale with it. It doesn't do anything other than just add a base amount to your heals. So for Harvest Dance, it'll bring it up from 25 to, oh my god, 30! I mean, it's something, I guess, if you've got nothing better for them to do. I guess Swordmasters are kind of worthless in this game, but, you know, whatever. See, always love the tree models in this game. They look pretty. A lot of the nature models look pretty. You know, I'm surprised that they didn't use the effects from the Wind Temple more often. Like, that's always my favorite one, because, yeah, like, they've got all the grass swing in the wind and all that other cool stuff. They've got the light filtering in from above. I don't know why they didn't use that in more places. Because it looks so pretty, especially, like, for a PSP game. It looks so good. So, I guess we'll never know, because they're too busy talking about Oz's friggin' leather pant habit to actually answer some of the cooler questions in the game. Anyway, does it count bots as viewers? I don't know. That's a good question. Typically speaking, I'm not seeing any like any different stuff from usual, so that's a strict maybe on that one. So yeah, we got about 7 right now. Seems about normal. Seems about right. Especially for about this time. Typically it's about like 0 to 3 for the first hour. For the second hour it goes up to like 5, and then from there it typically goes to like 10 to 12-ish before the end. And then immediately everything ends, and then the second I mention, it's like, oh no, they're ending, quick, run. As soon as I mention the thing's ending. But one of these days I'll go do one of those raid things by surprise, and then nobody will know it'll happen. In fact, you know what I should probably do? Let's see, raid? Quick, who should I raid? In like, an hour or so. Something like that. If anybody has a suggestion for anyone that they know for sure will be around at that time, do let me know. Because yeah, then I'll go ahead and set that up beforehand so that I can just go push the button and nobody can run away before I can tell them to go raid somebody. Like, especially yesterday was funny because we had like 50 people left after the big raid came in and everything, so I was trying to send them over to Bob Crimehole. By the way, hopefully that was at least somewhat amusing. He actually said he's going to continue his Tactics Ogre stuff at some point. Apparently he's been obsessed with Blops, because COD actually put out a decent game for the first time in ages. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's actually been getting him some people coming in as well. But yeah, so hopefully that was at least somewhat amusing. Bam. Interestingly, I think they're actually scaling up to Brigandines now. Should double check. I think that's what... yeah, they are. So yeah, Shield and Brigandine would be able to resist a longbow. If you didn't know, you get some damage type bonuses, but typically speaking, most of those actual damage type situations are in the background. The actual bonuses that they give you on your equipment, it's not necessarily a you specifically resist it because of this much. It's more so kind of a flavor thing. because they're like, okay, you know, you get 3% from your slash defense, you get another 2% from your crush defense, stuff like that. The way that OV did it, it's a little bit more noticeable, because they actually added more numbers to it, so specific damage types will occasionally, you know, appear better against certain things. But again, it's an illusion. It's not actually a mechanic per se. It is to some degree, but it's not exactly that. Right. Okay, so we got some new nifties, but still didn't get those dang class marks. Come on. Give me your marks. Give me your crap. Occurs to me, I forgot to give these guys better crossbows. Or crossbows at all. That might help. Might be why they're not hitting anything. There we go. Back to the Howling Hills. Wish you could use more than 6 units for this. You cannot use more than 6 units for this. There we go. And it's raining. Why's it gotta be raining? Oh yeah, tree models are nice. The snow models are pretty nice. There's actually some effects that they used in the ice temple. Just in all the elemental temples, there's all kinds of cool stuff that they just never used anywhere else, and it's a shame. Like some of the kind of glistening water effects they used in the water one are really awesome. They had some constant snowing effects that looked really nice in the snow temple there. The fire and earth ones were kind of basic. Honestly, the earth one is probably the lowest point of all of them, I'd argue, just because everything comes in with petrifog, and that's a pain in the neck. Whoever decided that earth needed to be so overpowered compared to everything else is... I don't really know what their issue was. Because that's pretty obvious. That's a pretty obvious imbalance right there. I'm like, oh, you know, what does ice get? I'm like, they can kind of, sort of mess with their casting ability a little bit. And they can also make them a little bit better at resisting stuff sometimes, just slightly. Like, okay, so what does Earth get? Oh, they get the ability to turn somebody into a rock for a really long period of time. And they also get the ability to slow down, like, large groups of people. And they also get the ability to mess with accuracy. It's like, dude, you just basically put all the useful abilities on Earth and nothing on anyone else. Like, water, for example. Literally the only thing that's even notable about that one, aside from the standard abilities, is that you've got Purify. And that's just a real sucky heal. That's kind of about it. The OV version at least cures poison. Like, it's slightly better in cures poison. It's at least worth considering at that point. Like, considering how common poison is in that game. Like, I feel like OV handles poison like the base game handled stun, where it's just, like, kind of all over the place, but at least poison is effective, but not annoying, whereas stun is more, like, it's sometimes effective and just really, really annoying when it actually is. But either way, you know, that's how that goes. But again, so yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on a whole raidy folks that'll be around, once again, please do feel free to let me know. I'm gonna go pull up this thing here, see if there's any kind of strategery type stuff going on. Again, this won't take for like an hour, so don't worry about that. But just so you know, rather, just so anyone knows, I don't know. I don't know. How can I say about the knowing when I don't know the knowing? Fearful Impact, that's gonna be annoying. Keep pewing. Hey look, he hits 76. It's a crabby amount of damage. Oh well. The joke is 76 wasn't very good, even though the map looked okay. The map design, area design, all of that looked pretty okay for 76, I'd argue. I feel like maybe got a little bit more trashed from an actual design perspective than needed, but yeah, the actual online stuff, oof, that was a rough time. Wonder if they're actually going to stop ruining themselves for 5 seconds, because I don't think, even in the new year, I think they've had like 3 more frickin' scandals come up, so hopefully they stop running into those at some point. Also, I'm not going to bother reviving Voltaire, we're just going to retreat. Just retreat. There we go. Avalon's going to go ahead and get mostly ruined. Oh, so it does count bots as viewers? Okay. Good to know. I should point out, these guys are coming in with endgame gear right now, so there's a reasonable chance that we're actually going to get some of that. I don't think they can drop most of it, but we can potentially come in and recruit some of them. In fact, I think I have recruit on denim, so that's probably what I'm going to do. Depends on the bot. Didn't know there were different types of bots. There we go. That should be a class mark drop. In fact, let me go set denim over to manual here. Okay, let's go ahead and retreat. Just to not risk them potentially grabbing that item bag. There we go. We got at least one Dragoon. Perfect. Plus side, while we're getting more marks... actually, no, we won't necessarily need to train them up. Okay. Skills, learn... Should probably just go ahead and give him his full skill complement here while we're here. He's got points for days. He no longer has points for days. What I want to do, give him dodge. And dodge 2. And also assign recruit. There we go, recruit. I believe he's got anatomy as well. Yeah, there we go. That'll help out with all that stuff, and then, yeah, dodge 2. And spend the rest on another skill slot. Everybody else will buy into all their stuff later. So yeah. The idea is, every once in a while, he'll have a chance to potentially recruit one of these guys, and that's all we want. See, PS4 screen says 0 viewers. Oh, you're on your PS4 right now? It's showing 7 on my end. Yeah, there aren't any archers that spawn in on this map, but if we're able to recruit an endgame, or just around Chapter 4 archer, that would be amazing. Let's see, 7 currently. Well, okay. Then there's 7 currently. Oh man, went down to friggin' 6. Oh crap. Actually, Mr. Cow, is that your internet being weird by chance? Even though the odds are pretty strong for everyone just left. Like, oh crap, he opened his stupid mouth. Run! Run before we get hurt in the brain. Alright, so Pants is gonna just stand here until they get close. And then, yeah, instead of finishing somebody off, he'll hopefully just get more points. And I think we may have just unlocked Flaming Shot. And I hope we did, because that thing is ridiculous. No. Okay. So what is he, rank 5 then? Nah. Okay. Rank 6? Yeah, probably the best bow move. Cow Invisible. Not really here. Well, okay, hello there, Mr. Invisible. Oh, but yeah, Flaming Shot is pretty darn good. It's pretty darn nifty-like. The thing more or less just annihilates 90% of something's health and makes it decide to join you as a result for some reason. Maybe it's some weird allegory for Stockholm Syndrome. Who knows? Like, I'm looking at this map right now and I'm thinking that the Denim has a good chance to run up that Swordmaster, hit Recruit, and actually be able to get him. But that's not realistic. That's not what has a chance to happen. Not even slightly. Because, yeah, for one thing, doesn't have enough TP. For another thing, he actually doesn't have that extra tile of range. If you didn't know, in the mod, everything comes with their respective ranks of Swiftfoot and stuff like that already built in. So you tend to be able to move your units around a lot easier. But yeah. So we're just going for recruits of opportunity, as it were. And in that case, I'm going to allow the Chariot trick, because it's not like it really does anything. All it would do is either make us leave or come back multiple times. So just saving a little bit of time, giving it a couple of extra attempts, you know. It's like potentially up to 3 extra attempts that you get for recruiting somebody to save yourself a little time. That's about it. Not anything super major. Okay, well... Alright, let's go over here. This lag is amazing. Alright, get his last 2 points. He's still only going to have 1 chance to recruit here. Alright, go for it. Come on, get us a Dragoon! Boo. And I'll be right back. Okay, and back once more. And back to Howling Hills once more. What an exciting time. I just keep going in there over and over and over. Feels like a really, really dark, that's what she said. Eh. Not ideal. Anyway. What I'm probably going to do is have Denim pick up Field Alchemy after this. Go ahead and use that Coral Harp that he's been carrying around for ages. I'm getting a little bit sick of this map lagging. Fortunately, not a whole lot that can be done about that. It's kind of a weird come-and-go kind of thing for the lag. Some days it'll do it, sometimes it won't. Not too much to be done about it. But yeah, for the new folks that just turned up, right now we're just trying to get more Dragoon marks. Since this is about a chapter before they're actually available in the store, you can just go repeatedly go for this place, go get your Swordmasters, go get your Dragoons, go get your, all your good stuff over here. Swordmaster, well, I already started Swordmasters, but ninjas are pretty useful too. I'm probably going to be using them for melee for a little bit. In fact, there's going to be a pretty funny moment later on, because I'm going to go ahead and train everybody up as ninjas. And once you got a bunch of guys running around with friggin' knives and double attack and Farampa, it just looks funny. Let's put it that way. Hide your kids and hide your lizard men. Exactly, they're coming for your scales. They're coming for your scales. Actually, for I was very, very close to putting that Lizard Obama picture in this thing. For those that don't know, I made a picture a little while ago that's you know, like you had the yes you can or yes we can posters, and it was just like hiss we can, and it was just like a lizard man sitting on the poster. The idea was supposed to be for the, you know, for beating the thing with lizards and stuff, because lizards are freaking awesome. But yeah. So, moving on with this thing, I kind of wonder what a base game lizard run would look like. Musing and musing. So ideally, what I want to get here is one of these ninjas. Thing is, all the other weapons we can sort of pick up over time. However, they come in with upgraded knives, and they come in with upgraded ninja swords, which... them things are a bit OP, and in fact, there's 2 characters that I plan to be using double ninja swords for a good long while, because again, they are absolutely broken. Like they get hidden bonuses and everything else in the background, but they are absolutely busted strong. To the point where, like right now, in my my other Ironman run of this, I have one lady who literally just switched the class. Barely has any experience in it and is still throwing out like 200-300s per round, even before crits and everything else. It's like, who balanced this? Who decided that these things are the things that are strong? Because, like, arguably of all the swords available, they're probably the least effective. Because, yeah, short katanas were usually the ones that were more mass-produced. Typically, when somebody was going for... Oh man, he just got 8. Typically when, you saw some of the more fancy ones, they tended to be something a little bit different. Now, let's see. First off, we're going to use the cherry trick, see if he can maybe do this. What can we do to make this happen? Can you maybe hit this guy? Maybe. So yeah, if you didn't know, if you trigger Chariot on the same round, then you don't miss... Well, I mean, that was effective, but not really what I was going for. Tell you what, go over here and lock him in place, and you're going to try to recruit him next round. I guess he's not getting recruited. Oh well. He came down with a bad case of dead. It'll happen. And you may notice that all these archers are getting really good. Thing is, once they start hitting rank 2 and 3 with their bows, that's when we're going to see a lot of those bonus damages start flying in. Also, be right back again. Alright, so, cool thing I just wanted to show off there for a second. If you didn't know the secondary useful effect of all the recruit abilities, and actually the reason that recruit got its range nerfed severely in the One Vision mod, is because, yeah, you can actually use recruit or any of those talking skills to just basically convince somebody to get rid of their evade from long range. It's pretty useful. But yeah, still kind of loud on this end, so I'm going to be still going back and forth on that. Alrighty, and I'm back once again. So, there's a few things I was actually considering to try, just kind of in the near future. And which, what tends to do pretty well, like, video-wise and stuff like that? Always tends to be those, like, 100 whatever things you didn't realize about some such or other. And honestly, I can make one of those about this game with relatively little effort. Like, for example, there's just a crap ton of stuff that people don't really realize in terms of hidden mechanics and things like that. It's like right there. Like, any speech ability, any, basically any ability that has an effect on somebody else that's used as a skill, potentially has the ability to make evade go away. You've got stuff like units not being able to be recruited, like if they're charmed or frightened or stuff like that. You've got stuff about where certain statues come from. You've got Oh, man, we're back. Alright, sorry about that. The little kiddo got upset. He's sitting there playing, doing his thing. Suddenly the puppy runs up and tries to lick him in the head. Sorry, no, don't touch me! Bad touch, puppy. Alright, there we go. But yeah, so I think that, something like that could potentially be interesting. Just maybe. I think there's, a few things that could be done in that regard. So if you have any, any specific stuff that you can think of that, would be maybe interesting to look into or mention or something like that, might be doing that whenever I have time in the near future. Because I think it would be pretty good, not to mention I kind of promised everybody on the Discord I'd do that whole lore and story video at some point, and I still haven't finished that one because that stuff takes ages. I should really just stop signing on for new projects constantly. Then I'm always looking at the list like, there's work, and then there's like 8 times as much work to to go do these projects. Anyway, we're back again, going silent. Alrighty, and I'm back. So probably gonna start towards winding down here. And I actually found the perfect thing to try this whole raidy dealy on. Because you know what? You know it's kind of the perfect counterpart to exactly not this? Game's done quick. Apparently GDQ is going on right now, so yeah, who knows? We might get mentioned on that kind of thing. But yeah, probably gonna just let them finish up this fight, and then we'll go there for the day. Cause I have to go make sure that, you know, all the kiddos get their lunch and everything, the usual kind of stuff. So that's always fun. And yeah, that'll probably be that around that point. Now, yeah, if you guys want to see that whole 100 whatever thingies about Tactics Ogre of all things, I can probably get that going, like I said, I don't know, maybe like next week or so. So yeah, if there's any like random stuff you want to make sure it doesn't get forgotten, which again, given how many bizarre background mechanics there are in this game, I honestly would not be terribly surprised if it winds up being over 100. It's that kind of game. It's always Mitsuno type stuff, you know? There's always just a bajillion background mechanics that nobody ever mentioned, that nobody really looked into, like, just stuff that doesn't even get mentioned. Like, for example, Eyes of Heaven. You get that way the hell late into the game, and all it says is that it's there to let you know how many skill points you get. It doesn't tell you that it tells you what loot you can get in a particular level. It's just some... You'd think the more useful function would have maybe been mentioned at some point, but doesn't really get brought up. But actually, we're actually going to be picking him up during this run, so we'll be getting that as well. He's actually one of the ones required for the title, because in order to get that, we have to save Warren, have to save Lance, have to have recruited the other 3 Zenobians, and then you have to have Vice and Kashua saved as well. So a little bit difficult at times, but I think we can get it done. And they've only got a couple little shots here left to go. So, okay. Good stuff. And Kia's dead. Well, whoops. Yeah, I think this auto-grinding is why they ended up giving you 3 extra lives. Because it would take you forever. Although, you can't really auto-grind in one vision, so I wonder if by chance... can't reset it, never mind. Either way, that's 2 bags for the units that I wanted, so we'll go ahead and retreat out of this fight right now. And there we go. Did we get those marks? Yes! We got a swordsman mark at least, so we got at least some stuff. Progress got made! As slight as it may be. So we'll pick up around the same point next time. I'll go ahead and save it there. And yeah, gonna send you guys over to Games Done Quick there. So thank you for dropping by. Really appreciate it. And yeah, have a great day. Ooh. As follower or subscriber only chats. Well, whatever. Worth a try. Anyway, so, have a great day, and take care.